The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Coming to you live from a rather chilly studio in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is Feel Good Friday, February 5th, 2021. This show will begin right now. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Now, today's show. Normally, right now, I would dive into a bunch of headlines and situations that could be popping off around the internet or the sports world. To be honest, there isn't really much popping off. I mean, aside from the Carson Wentz is going to the Colts stuff that has peeked its head back into the internet, that disappeared for a little bit. When Matthew Stafford was potentially a Colt, the Carson Wentz to Indianapolis conversation kind of died off a bit because everybody was like, maybe it wasn't just Carson Wentz or nothing, like a lot of people were saying, because Carson Wentz would be able to get back into Indianapolis with Frank Reich, the coach who had him playing his best football before he got injured and became a broken man in Philadelphia playing bad football. Now the conversation has come back because what are the Colts going to do at quarterback? Is Carson Wentz going to be the Colts quarterback next year? Well, Mike Garafolo, I believe. Mike Garafolo.
Oh, yeah.
He's reporting that the Eagles and Colts have discussed a Carson Wentz trade.
Oh, no.
I would like to say that I have said in the past that I'd like to say that I was against this whole thing. And I would like to, because if this does happen, all right, there's going to be a lot that's going to come out, all right, of me talking about how I would feel about said situation.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, and I'm a rather large mouthpiece here in Indiana. Okay, him coming to Indianapolis would be I would assume some people would like to show that had happened, on the internet and such.
Sure.
I would like to be known. That was a much different set of circumstances then.
Yeah.
Okay, at that point, this is like Pawn Stars. All right, in Pawn Stars, you come in with something, guy who's the star of the show fucks you over. You take the money, you leave. Okay, he sells it for a lot more money, gets on television, actually flexes on how dumb you are, and then the show goes on and moves forward, right? That's the whole show. But every once in a while in negotiations, they'll bring in an expert, and his expert from down the street will come in, and this guy happens to know everything about a goddamn Civil War gun that there's only been one of them, and the person that created it has had it for its entirety, and nobody knew it existed, but this guy's a fucking expert on it somehow. Nobody knows how that works. But then afterwards, the negotiation, they say, hey, we live in a much different time now than we did just 2 minutes ago.
That's right.
I'd like to say that same type of thing in this particular situation. Whenever I was burying the broken Carson Wentz move to Indianapolis, that's because I knew Matthew Stafford was out there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I knew Matthew Stafford was going to be out there. And at that time, there was other people, not us, saying that maybe
You send Carson Wentz to New England.
No. I'm saying, maybe Aaron Rodgers was available.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
Okay, there was people saying that at the time.
Still might be.
So when everybody was just like, hey, put Frank and Carson back together, I'm like, Frank, pretty good coach. Okay, I think we've been able to see. Let's maybe put Frank with Matthew Stafford, see how that whole thing works. Let's put Frank with, and we never said this, but other people were saying this, but if you're going to say this, let's have the conversation. If you're the same people saying Carson has to come to Indy, why don't we put Frank with Aaron Rodgers? We're not saying that, but you're saying that. Now you're not saying that that's possible, so that's what I'm talking about. That we live in a much different world now. Aaron, the Packers seem to be in a very good spot. What's his name said he's not an idiot. The same guy that drafted the quarterback.
Yeah, Mark Murphy and Gutekunst, both of them. They want him in town.
And they say, hey, we're not idiots, okay? We want the MVP to be our guy. But at the time, they were saying that was... So this entire situation is very interesting for me. Because what are the Colts going to do at quarterback? Are they going to draft Mac Jones?
Ooh.
That's what Mitt's pushing hard for.
National champion.
Nobody even knows if that would even be feasible with how the draft's going to turn out. It feels like there's a lot of people that need quarterbacks. Well, Mac Jones lasts until that late into the first. I don't know. I'm not Todd McShay or Mel Kiper. I could not guess. But it is an interesting thing now that Carson allegedly doesn't want to be in Philadelphia anymore. There's reports coming out that it's irreconcilable. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Is that a word?
I mean, close enough.
Irreconcilable? Irreconcilable. Anyways, their relationship stinks. That allegedly Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Mm-hmm. If he wants out with that contract and he comes to the Colts, was that the person that I wanted first? No. But obviously, I wasn't the only one that was feeling that way. Mm-hmm. But now we're in a world where is Carson Wentz the best option? Fucking feels like that's potentially going to happen, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, because if he plays great football, everything I said bad about Wentz is going to get shoved in my face whenever I thought Matthew Stafford was potentially available and Aaron Rodgers. And then if he plays bad football, they're going to show that, and I'm going to be the bad guy that's just burying Carson. So it's a no-win at this gate, but it feels like it's probably going to happen. It's inevitable. And aside from that, that's the only thing that's really talking about in the whole sports world. Yep. Today, we'll talk about the Super Bowl this weekend. We'll talk about betting. I will place the $30,000 bet on tails.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah! On the bet on the show today. I will officially place it.
Here we go.
Going all in. AJ likes heads, by the way, so there probably will be pretty good conversation on Sunday on our countdown to kickoff Celebration Super Show.
Yeah!
Nailed it.
Get it? Yes.
Wow.
Countdown to the kickoff Celebration Super Show, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, the greatest sportsbook on planet Earth and the move. We'll be live on YouTube from 4 p.m. until the end of the coin toss, which, by the way, we just found out massive things on the line there. 30,000. Obviously, we win. I win that bet. We give money away. Okay. Yeah. Probably to the people in the comments, probably to the boys here in the room. We lose that money, devastating, stream's over. Everybody can go home.
See ya.
See you later.
See ya.
So we're all pulling for tails unless you're AJ Hawk. Big guests, by the way, okay? We got them time slotted in. They will be surprises. 410, big one.
Huge.
520.
Oh, boy.
Big one.
We're not ready.
605, big one.
Yeah.
Big one.
And then we got to figure out the time for the last one.
Yep.
But this show, I believe, will be a good time for a lot of us to be had. And the conversations that will be taking place will be incredible. AJ Hawk will be joining us. We'll be giving away things. Numerous oculi will be given away. Some money will be given away. Other prizes will be given away. Chairs will be given away.
Yeah,
A lot of gaming chairs will be given away.
Awesome.
Gaming chairs. We'll just give them away.
Why
Just giving them away. You have to pay for the shipping of the heavy-ass, big-ass box that has just been showing up in our office. Shout out to all the gaming chair companies. We appreciate you. You could probably keep, 90% of your order, though. We are getting 12 chairs at a time sent to this office that we have not ordered, okay? No. These are side deals that Zito and Bailey have been working to try to get into the gaming community.
No. They heard you're a big gamer now, and they want to get in there.
But my game actually doesn't involve sitting down.
Stand up.
I'm an Oculus guy.
No, when you're in the corner for boxing, they want you to make sure you sit down.
That's very nice. And these chairs are very, very, very nice, okay? Very nice.
Yeah, they're comfy.
But also, they're like IKEA. I mean, it takes 7 hours to put them together. Oh, yeah. And then every once in a while, you don't know if that back's going to pop off because you're not a fucking contractor like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're not built for speed, but they're built for comfort.
Bingo.
I think so.
Bingo. Anyways, we'll give away those, money, Oculus. I mean, it's going to be a great Sunday. We can't wait for you. We'll go live on Sirius at 4:30. On YouTube, we're live at 4 o'clock. We can't wait for it. Today, we have 700 guests.
Oh, yeah.
We have 700 actual guests today.
Packed house.
It is massive. We got Derrick Henry. You've seen him everywhere this morning. He's been doing the rounds with Old Spice. I assume we're his last interview. We would have to be at this point. We've seen him. I have no idea how that's going to go. 10 minutes after him, we have Carson Palmer. Okay. He was on last year's Super Bowl Radio Row. I believe he does this work with Cadenwood, which I do forget what it is. Me too. But we will sell the hell out of that. And then Sean McDermott, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Bills Mafia, coming through an hour after Carson Palmer, about 1:25 Eastern. Then Mike Allstott.
Wow.
Will be joining. He's in Bucks Ring of Honor, by the way. How we feel to have team back there. Super Bowl champ with them. And then Ryan Clark will cap off the day. ESPN analyst, Super Bowl champ, Pro Bowler, alongside AJ Hawk. So go ahead and buckle it in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Strap it up. We're in for one today. A lot of quick conversations. How are they going to go? Probably some technical glitches, some bullshit sales pitches from things that do we use? Maybe. Probably not.
Maybe.
Do they use? Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. And we'll just try to enjoy the hell out of this Feel Good Friday right before the Super Bowl. At Tone Diggs, COVID Cowboy, how we feeling about some bets this weekend? What are you doing?
I feel really, really good about the bets. Some of my favorite ones are first quarter and first half unders. As we've seen with the Chiefs' last 2 runs, they have gotten out to slow starts in the first quarters and had to come back. So I'd like to take the under there. And also, Tom Brady has only scored 3 points total in all 9 of his Super Bowls in the first quarter. So I'm liking first quarter, first half, unders, more scoring in the second half.
Okay, so Tone is an unders better, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
This is right in his wheelhouse. The stats do back it up, but you will be praying for punts, which is what I'm all about.
Yes.
Baby.
Yes.
Look for the punts over potentially in the first half if you get a chance. That is something you should think about. Second half, probably not so much. Everybody will be very aggressive. I'm excited to see how these teams, play chess against each other here. Who's going to do what? Bart Scott and Dan Orlovsky got into a very heated conversation on Get Up this morning that caused Greeny to actually put his feet up on his desk and kind of fade into nothing or whatever. They were talking about who's going to cover the tight ends, basically, right? Who's going to cover Travis Kelce? Bart Scott said put a linebacker on him or whatever. And Dan Orlovsky was like, well, then Travis Kelce will have 4 touchdowns and probably win the MVP if that's the case. And I agree. Travis Kelce is uncoverable. Who do you put him? A corner can keep up with them, but he's big body on them. Linebacker can't keep up with them. Safety Sorensen is probably going to have his, but you have at least have somebody else on there because of Travis Kelce's speed or whatever. But on the flip side, Sorensen would be covering Gronk then on the flip side. The flip side can't cover Gronk either. So this could be big time tight end game. You know what I mean? I think everything comes around that offensive line. Who can protect, who can give time. And if the tight ends get rolling, which we know Kelce will, his over-under's at 98.5 yards.
Yes.
But I think Gronk potentially does as well. That is a game, that is the matchup. Tyreek Hill is going to do what he does. But which tight end gets going? 2 of the greatest of all time. Like, probably when it's all said and done, top 4 all time.
Yeah.
Both of these guys.
Sure.
And I'm only saying that because I do not want to get into the argument of Gonzalez and obviously Kittle will be in that conversation.
Tony Gates.
Exactly.
Shannon.
Okay, so top. Exactly. He's going to
So
be.
many.
They're going to be in that Mount Rushmores of tight ends. It's something that's completely evolved. I'm excited to watch it. At Boston Connor, your team is not in the Super Bowl.
No.
You're pulling for Tom though because you feel like he's a part of your childhood.
I might as well pull for Tom. Like I said, you get to see greatness, 7 Super Bowls. Also have a future bet on the Bucs to win it all. But as you just mentioned with Sorensen, Honey Badger has pretty good value at MVP. He's covering Gronk. He gets a pick 6. He might sneak in there, actually.
The thought of, but the issue is Honey Badger is a rover. I'm just going to rove, coach.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a roam around. If he just is locked up on Gronk, that takes him away from a lot of other things that he potentially does. I don't think they'll be able to do that, right? I think it'll be probably Sorensen and somebody else because you got to let Tyron do his thing because he's all over the place. But that's not a bad game. Just like, hey, Jason Pierre-Paul plus 10,000, Shaq Barrett plus 5,000. If you can get to a quarterback in a quarterback game, now you're going to have to really get to the quarterback. I mean, they just paid Patrick Mahomes $500 million. If they win, they're going to want him to have a couple of Super Bowl MVPs.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be, even if Travis Kelce dominates, which, by the way, we hope he does. I assume Patrick Mahomes is going to get a couple of Super Bowl MVPs. Not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent, because without Patrick Mahomes, none of that works. But that's a quarterback-driven league, especially whenever you give him $500 million. But is Tom Brady guaranteed to win it if the Bucs win? You know what I mean? Like, that's also the thought in this entire thing. Because let's say Jason Pierre-Paul. He does get 5-6 sacks or something. Strip sack, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Does that whole thing. Bucks win. Who gets, at this point, do you think BA potentially goes, Tom, this guy's never going to get a Super Bowl MVP ever again?
Ever.
And he gives it to him? Or do you think it's like, no, got to go to Tom Brady because he's the guy of all time? That's like the interesting thing. Is it even worth betting on anybody else whenever you start thinking about that? I put a little bit of money on the plus 10,000 for sure on Pierre Paul, but it is interesting to see how that entire thing will get handled. Speaking of MVP, the MVP gets named this weekend. Ty, are you bracing yourself for, Aaron to potentially win the MVP this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've ever really watched the NFL honors thing before. Like, you see the clips on Twitter and stuff like that, but I'm actually excited to watch the whole show. And yeah, hopefully Rodgers has a dynamite MVP speech.
I'm hoping so as well. We are supposed to be joined by somebody who's potentially another MVP this week and potential winner. Over 2,000 yards. Is unbelievable as a running back. Derrick Henry is supposed to be joining us here about 2 minutes ago, but now he's not here.
Oh, no.
No. Zito's giving a hand. Giving a hand. Zito's giving a hand. He's in. He's on. Go.
Oh, check the text message in the FaceTime machine.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we got
the crown.
We got.
There was a mix-up in the Zoom links.
Oh.
Okay.
See, I thought he would have been in the same one.
All day.
I believe we sent him one,
jump in?
but then they sent us one. So it was the old-fashioned, where are we looking?
Oh, so that is an old-fashioned one.
Yeah.
We were in the one we sent him.
Yes, exactly. I believe so. I could be wrong,
you
though.
come to my
Well, by the way, I would assume that's the much more convenient one because he's probably been in one for literally the last 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's the stamina on the sit-down conversation. He has this big-ass throne he's sitting on. Oh, I mean a big throne.
Great set.
Great setup. Old Spice little backdrop over here. Still not.
Oh, really?
It's a big Zoom link.
Foxy just put a big thumb down right there. Instead of Derrick Henry, potential MVP this weekend, Michael in Houston. What's going on here?
Potential offensive rookie of the year.
He's in
What are you doing?
wrong Zoom call. He's in a wrong Zoom call. Michael, what's going on?
Hey guys, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, now we can, man. We heard a lot of things there beforehand. We were just kind of listening in the backdrop there. But what do you want to talk about, Michael?
I want to talk about the Eagles hiring Brian Johnson as the quarterback's coach. And it's been reported in Philadelphia, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. Brian Johnson and Jalen have actually known each other their whole lives, pretty much.
Yeah, that is crazy, Michael. And I saw that on the internet, by the way. The coach they brought in has known Jalen since he was a child, I guess.
Nice.
So I believe they were thinking that the writing was on the wall for Carson Wentz to potentially get moved, maybe to the Indianapolis Colts.
Whoa.
Feels like a lock.
And if he comes to the Indianapolis Colts, he's coming into the AFC South. And the AFC South currently has a running back inside of it that rushed for more than 2,000 yards. A man that is in the conversation for the MVP, which is unbelievable in the year 2021, where the quarterbacks are the only conversation. From the Tennessee Titans, ladies and gentlemen, all-pro Derrick Henry.
Yeah!
What's up?
Hey, you've done, I think, 4 hours of media today. You are crushing it. I hope you're having a great morning, boss. We've been watching you all over the place.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing a lot, but yeah, it's been fun.
How is it? It's just, has it been, at what point did you say, okay, you know what? We're doing the same conversation over and over again. Did that ever happen, or are you enjoying the hell out of this entire process?
No, it's cool. Just talking football, talking ball, talking Old Spice. Everything's good.
Hey, Old Spice, by the way, absolutely incredible. They have a cologne-like scent in their new, what's the new line? The new Old Spice Dynasty. Dynasty. I can't wait to try it out. We appreciate you joining us. Hey, Derrick, we had a conversation with Eddie George. And Eddie George, obviously, this story kind of got popular a couple years ago. He said you guys had a conversation or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how the conversation went. I don't think that ever got out. But seemed like since that moment, you became a completely different running back, right? When you were in the NFL, there was spurts on prime time. You'd have like 4 touchdowns, and then all of a sudden something would happen. We have no idea. It wouldn't be on TV. We wouldn't see it, and then you would dominate again. And then it just became the regular. You just started dominating everybody. And obviously the Titans got better and better as you continue to do so. What was that conversation? When did it click for you that, okay, I can do exactly what I did in probably junior high, high school, college, and I can do it in the NFL. This is the same damn thing.
Yeah, basically he was just being real with me, telling me be who I am, be the person, the player that got me here, and run physical, finish runs, let the game come to you. and everything else will fall in place. Or if not, you can be out of job. And that was just clear cut, being straight up with me.
So whenever you started doing that, by the way, you just started. I mean, it was incredible to watch. You're 6'4", 200. What? 6'5"? What are you? What are you?
6'3", like 245.
You were pulling away from motherfuckers this year. Hey, you were breaking through the second level and pulling away from people that are supposed to be the fastest humans on earth. It's unbelievable. Have you always been like that? I assume that's just how life has always been. Did you hit a growth spurt at any point? When did you just become the most dominant human on the field at all times?
Well, I'm from Florida, so the speed was going to be there regardless. But I've always been tall. Always been kind of lean, and then as I got older, start putting on muscle and all that good stuff. But as far as play, I've always loved the running back position. Always wanted to play it. I played a little defense in high school, but running back was for sure the position I wanted to play and wanted to dominate, wanted to be really good at. 2,000
yards is a lot of yards. All right, that's obviously a long way. I get tired walking it. Is there goals every season? Like is 2,000 yards even something you even think about whenever you go into a year?
I mean, every running back wants to have a historic season and do great things. But I think as long as you put your team first and focus on the things you need to do to help your team to be successful, then the individual stuff will fall in place. The other think I get 2,000 yards, man, that sounded so surreal to me. But when it happened, it was just, so special and a special moment for me and my teammates. And, I don't really try to have goals for the season, place goals, things that I want to do for the season, but just want to be better than the year before. That's one thing I always focus on and try to work hard through the off season with my workouts and all those type of things, just so I'm ready to go when training camp comes.
That's awesome. It's been working. I know we don't have much time with you here. Last question. Aside from Bob Spokane from the Pittsburgh Steelers on that goal line tackle where you guys went, I believe helmet to helmet pretty clearly there. Is there any collisions from this last season you remember at all? Because, everybody, whenever they have to play the Titans, they know, okay, here we go. I have to run my face into Derrick Henry today at some point. Was there any big collisions you recall from the year?
Oh, yeah, that was a big collision. It's been so many the game goes so fast and you hit so much, especially playing running back, that I don't really. It's a lot I could say, but that one you said that was a big collision.
Yeah. Sure. Hey, it was awesome to watch. Had to be absolutely terrible. It's your job, obviously, to do so, but couldn't imagine being a part of that car crash, but watching it from outside, awesome. It is. And that happens a lot with you. I don't know how you continue to do it. I don't know how you continue to outrun people at your size. It's awesome to watch. Shout out Old Spice. Shout out you. Good luck with the MVP and going into the offseason, sir.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. You have a great show you got going on. Thank y'all for having me.
It's average, Derek. It's like we got a little bit, it is. It's just, it's not great, it's not bad. We kind of do our thing, you know what I mean?
You gotta stay humble.
Hey, that's why you're in a goddamn throne. Ladies and gentlemen, King Henry. Hell yeah! Thank you, King. Is that my ear thing?
Yeah, it is.
It's turned down so low. It's going to blow my ears out. Both my ears are going to get blown out.
Did it?
I think we need to get you a new pack.
Yeah.
Pack's dead.
Yeah, we need
sabotage.
Need to get you a new pack.
It was killing me. Like it was.
I feel like a dog.
Yeah,
hearing that whistle.
It is like a dog whistle in there. Mm-hmm. Shout out Derrick Henry. He did 45 interviews today.
Yeah. What do you want from him?
He'll win Offensive Player of the Year.
He remembers Bob though.
Yeah.
Bob Spokane. I forgot. As I was see,
I think it's your side one.
Oh, so now it's
double agent.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Test. Classic test out there.
What is the poll for today, by the way?
Oh, yep, got it right here.
Do we have a good poll?
Yes, we do. It's the Super Poll.
Oh,
nice.
With over, let me refresh because it doesn't update. 55,000 votes.
Damn.
Jesus.
No big deal. Who is going to win Sunday? Oh, shit. Who do you want to vote for?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. This is the people's poll.
Make the choice, Zeke.
Make a choice, Zeke.
You know, I'm just going to put Bucks real quick.
Oh, okay.
And then right now, Bucks is last place, 46%. Chiefs, 54%.
Interesting you say that because the gambling is not going that way. It's going the complete opposite way, actually. The money is now on the Bucks money line over the Chiefs at 54% or something like that. It's actually completely flipped to our poll. So 55,000 people on Zito's Super Poll, 54% on the Chiefs, 46 on the Buccaneers. But the money being bet and wagered is completely flipped here, which if you're a Chiefs bettor, got to make you feel good. And I think there are a lot that I'm looking at that are potentially Chiefs bettors, even though they want potentially the Buccaneers story. If the people are with the Bucks, that means the sports books are very thankful, I'd assume, at this point.
Yeah, very, very, very.
They had to assume that it was going to go the other way. I would assume they thought it was going to go the other way.
And just, it seems like the public, just how our pool is flipped from what the bets are, a lot of people have no idea what the fuck's going to happen on Sunday.
Which is why I put $30,000 on tails. Joining us now, he's a man who was an all-pro, Pro Bowler, Heisman, and he's here for Cadenwood. We got a chance to talk to him last year. Always an incredible conversation. A man I do believe who enjoys a wine or two. Ladies and gentlemen, Carson Palmer.
Yeah. How are you guys?
You in a lodge?
I'm in a lodge-inspired home. That is correct.
In the woods?
I'm in the mountains. I'm in Idaho.
Oh, how is it? Is it awesome out there? You love it.
Good. It's good. It just snowed probably 2 inches this morning, and there's more coming this afternoon, so it's good. It's cold, but good.
You ski, snowboard, anything like that?
Ski a little bit, yeah.
Any black diamonds out there in Idaho you hit?
A lot of black diamonds. You a big skier, Pat?
One time, hit a black diamond, never skied again. You know what I mean?
I do.
You do the slalom?
My kids, my two oldest kids are ski racers. They do the giant slalom and the slalom.
Okay, I watch it like every 4 years or whatever, because the Olympics, that looks, the one where their legs just are bouncing back and forth, they look like they're crashing, but like in a controlled fashion?
That's the moguls. The GS is what you see like Lindsey Vonn and Michaela Schifrin doing, going like 80 miles an hour on a sheet of ice.
Your kids are doing that?
Kids are doing that.
Oh, nice. You prefer that over stepping up into a pocket with a Pittsburgh Steeler climbing into their legs?
They're both dangerous. I mean, both sports can rip your legs in half, and you can also knock yourself out with a concussion. So it hasn't gotten any safer since in the Palmer household since I retired.
Oh, so a rule was changed because of a situation that happened to you. You're on the wrong side of it, obviously, with a crawling defensive lineman taking out your knee. So that means literally you were the pivot point of a lot of protection for quarterbacks. Back in the day, was it as bad as like some of the older quarterbacks make it out to be versus the rules today for protecting a quarterback? Or do you think there's still some big shots on quarterbacks post the rules being changed, partly because of a situation that happened with you?
Very rarely. I mean, you very, very rarely see a quarterback get hit. You see more often defensive linemen approaching the quarterback and throwing their hands up to the ref, like, I'm not going to hit him, I'm not going to touch him. The game has changed, and I think that's been a catalyst in Tom Brady's success at this stage in his career. Back when he started in the league, he was getting hammered, and you just have not seen Tom get hit the last 5 or 6 years the way he was the first 6 years. And the other big factor in that, too, is you're not seeing teams play on AstroTurf like when you and I first got in the league, which was just basically an asphalt parking lot with a little piece of carpet over the top of it. Now, I mean, most teams are playing on natural grass. The other half are playing on the synthetic turf, which does have a little bit of give and a little bit of cushion. But one of my mentors and best buddies, Ken O'Brien, who played for the Jets back in the day, they basically played on a parking lot on AstroTurf, and that's kind of where how the league was. Half the teams were on that, and that did more damage than the actual hits, I think.
I would like to talk more about Tom Brady here in a little bit, but there was one quarterback this year taking some hits. I mean, I saw his head get dislodged from his body. Joe Burrow took some of the biggest shots I've seen in some time to a quarterback, especially like a franchise quarterback. Now, obviously, as soon as the conversation was he was going to go to the Bengals or whatever, And there was a conversation that started murmuring around that he said that was not true and everything like that. But you were a large part of that conversation about the Bengals. Do you think the Bengals are going to take advantage of Joe Burrow? He is so good, by the way. But if he's not going to last. That guy, he might die if he takes the shots that he was taking last year. Like that was a scary scene. How do you see his entire career going? And I'm assuming you've got a chance to chat with him. How have those conversations gone?
So your first question, I was shocked. I thought he was going to be a really good pro and thought the sky was the limit. But he came in and played as a rookie on a team that was just not quite as good as every team they played personnel-wise. And he still, with that supporting cast around him, played like one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. I was blown away. He didn't have those rookie moments, those rookie passes where you're like, oh, no, don't throw that one. He was really, really he was smart with the ball. He was mature. He was taking a shellacking on the field. And if it wasn't his knee that gave, I think that was week 9, 10, 11, it was going to be something else because he was absolutely taking a pummeling. But, in retrospect, when you look back, he got hurt with that knee injury at the right time in the year because now he's got enough time for the surgery, the rehab, getting himself back, getting his confidence back in his knee and time for preseason games. So hopefully he'll get an opportunity to play some preseason games, develop that chemistry and those relationships with his outside targets, and be on track to start week 1. So if there is a silver lining in all of it, he got hurt at the right time in the season.
I mean, those first couple games, he was making some plays like, "Ooh, look at this," and then there were some hits, and everybody was like, and then you talk to people, he's like, "Well, he wanted those hits. Like he likes taking those hits." Where it's like, okay, all right. This weekend is being heralded as the old GOAT versus the young GOAT, as a guy who is one of the prototypes of the quarterback position in long-standing quarterback, knowledge haver. Did you hear that? Did you hear that sentence I just put together right there? Putting over the fact that you know what the hell you're talking about when it comes to quarterbacks. What is Patrick Mahomes ever going to be able to accomplish that people will say, you know what, more impressive than what Tom Brady did? And do you think that's even possible at this point? I think this unicorn-like run that Tom Brady has been on might be damn near impossible to do, but if anybody can do it, I guess Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs team would be able to do it.
Yeah, I think if you just look at the start of Patrick Mahomes' career, he's broken every record for the first 2 or 3 seasons of quarterbacks played statistically. But I mean, when you think about half of Tom Brady's career has ended up in the Super Bowl, and he's played for 20 years. I mean, that statistic is mind blowing. Just about every other year he goes to the Super Bowl. That would be an unbelievable run for Pat Mahomes. I mean, Pat started a little bit earlier because Brady sat behind Bledsoe for a bit, and I know Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a bit. But I mean, the start to Patrick's career has been flawless. Can he do it? Can he sustain what he started? I mean, only time will tell. But to match what Brady's done as far as getting to the Super Bowl every other year, just about. Might be one of the most impressive statistics to me outside of what Brett Favre did in consecutive games played. I mean, I think that stat will go down, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. We're going to look back and go, that was an amazing stat to play that long, that many games in a row without having the unlucky occurrence of somebody just falling into your knee and your knee going sideways, or a really, really bad concussion that you hit your head on the side of the AstroTurf and missed a week or 2. I mean, the fact that didn't happen in Brett Favre's run is truly amazing also. Yeah, I agree. And the thought of like 50 years from now, 60 years from now that you just kind of referenced there, and I automatically started thinking that. Now, let's assume the league survives and world survives 50, 60 years. Who knows? I mean, nobody knows the future, even me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Imagine them talking about Tom Brady, though,
for like the kids that didn't see Tom Brady or even had a clue about Tom Brady's existence, and especially in the world that we're in now. If something happened a week ago, that might as well have been at least a year ago with the way the internet is. When Tom Brady's numbers are now being showcased this week, and we're seeing some more stats, because we never look at Tom Brady's stats. We look at everybody else's stats. Tom Brady's stats are never put out. The numbers are just alarming to look at. I mean, it is just, everything is so big. I think he's been to 4 Super Bowls since Peyton has retired or something. It is unbelievable at this point. What do you got, Diggs?
Carson, when you came out, you were obviously the clear-cut, no questions, #1 pick. I saw your brother's working with Trevor Lawrence, who is in the same position. Have you heard anything from him? Have you met him? Is he what everyone is hyping him up to be?
I believe he is, and from everything Jordan said about just his maturity level. I mean, that's the one thing. When you're talked about being a top 5 pick, one of the first quarterbacks in the draft, you can absolutely spin it. You're a good athlete. You're a smart kid. You've won in college, probably, but athletically and throwing the football wise, you're a gifted athlete. Now, all those guys that have all those traits don't make it. Some end up being, great players. Some end up fizzling out. But I think the one thing that separates that group, or the one distinction that you can make about the guys in that group that are labeled that kind of athletes, and then they end up making a successful NFL career, is maturity. If you're immature and you have issues and red flags that pop up in college, those things tend to carry over as you go on about your professional career. And I think the one thing that jumps out, aside from Trevor Lawrence's amazing college career, aside from his God-given ability, is his maturity. He understands who he is. He understands how important this next phase is, and how important the last phase was to his overall development as a player, as a human being. And I think what you're going to see, and whoever takes him #1, you're going to see a polished, ready-to-play quarterback. You're going to see a guy that doesn't need a year to sit back and really develop certain skills or become a more mature individual and citizen. You're going to see a guy that's ready to play. And I think of all the important qualities, he's got all the important qualities that translate to a positive, successful NFL career physically. But mentally, what he's got and the maturity he has upstairs in his head is what's going to propel him to a really successful career.
Jordan worked with Joe last year, Trevor this year. Hey, look at the Palmer family, huh? Crushing it over there.
I got nothing to do with it. That's all Jordan. He's put together an impressive business model. And I think the important part to his success is he's not just a great coach. And Pat, from being around great coaches, the greatest coaches are great teachers. And being able to, transfer knowledge from yourself to another individual in a way that they can absorb that knowledge the quickest and the most efficiently is a talent, and it's a gift. And Jordan absolutely has that gift.
That's awesome. It's fun to watch on the internet and follow along. When I saw Trevor Lawrence out there, I was like, good for Jordan, man. Let's go. Keep it going. Can you tell us about Cadenwood a little bit? I think I see some on the table over there.
Yeah. Cadenwood and Level Select CBD. It's a sports cream I've been using for the last couple of years after numerous knee surgeries and injuries and just being banged up and getting old. I've got 4 young kids. I love to hunt and fish, ski, and just really be outside in general, enjoying the outdoors. I'm up here in Idaho, and there's a lot of that, and it helps me do that. It continues, my post-playing career and athletic, adventures that I want to share with my kids and be outside and not be in pain and not be sore, and then go outside and try to fall asleep at night and not be in pain as I'm falling asleep. Level Select CBD has done that for me. And right now, Pat, you can log on to levelselectcbd.com.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
50% off for you, Pat.
Okay.
Not just you, but everybody. If you type in the promo code Carson.
Ooh.
Look at you. I see you doing it.
Level Select CBD.
Great posture in your computer stance also.
What's that?
You have great posture in your computer stance.
Thank you. I've been boxing at night. It's been it's lifted the you know what I mean? But I have been sore, so
there you go.
Level Select CBD, and then whenever I sign, I say Carson.
Yeah, Carson is your promo code. 50% off.
50?
50.
15?
50.
Holy.
Oh, they're giving away the company. They're giving away the company. They are giving away the company. They are not going to make any money. We must take advantage of it. LevelSelectCBD.com. 50% off with the promo code Carson. Hey, we appreciate you so much, Carson. You're the best, dude. Enjoy Idaho.
Thanks, Pat. I will.
I mean, that's way out there.
Oh, yeah.
You're from Cali, right? And then go to Cincy. Then you go to Arizona. Or Oakland, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then Arizona.
That's right.
And you go, you know what? I'm going to Idaho.
It's God's country.
Amen.
Come visit.
Hey, God bless you, pal. Carson Palmer. I like Carson, man.
Seems like a guy you just hang out with in his cabin home and have a couple cocktails.
He's in Idaho in a lodge.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
think Mitt lived in Idaho, if I remember correctly.
Is that one of the, like those, there was a couple lakes in Montana that started to become like, if you got a lot of money, you go get a house on this place, like Wyoming, right?
Yeah. I have not heard that about Idaho yet.
So I believe Chuck Pagano, because he was a coach at Boise. I think he's maybe from Wyoming. I forget where he's from. I should know. He has a house in Idaho, though. He got one whenever he's coaching there at Boise. Ooh. Every once in a while, I'll get I'll talk to him or something in the off season. This has happened like 3 times, so it's not every once in a while. It's like very rarely it happens. And he just sends a photo of where he's from, and Idaho is gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. Never gets talked about. Probably hate that we're talking about it right now, actually. Yeah. Idaho's like, don't be telling anybody. All right, we can just, that's what happens, by the way. All those uber rich people, they bounce around to states that aren't really heard about, and then it gets outed, and then they're off and running. It's like the Ozarks or whatever, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep.
That's how that whole show came about. Been at a couple parties, a couple of those places. What state am I in? It's great to be here.
You're drunk, Pat. That's the state you're in.
Yeah, that's why I was brought in. By the way, that's the state of drunkenness. 43 minutes in hour 1. We have to get to a break. It is cold as hell in India. I hope it's warm wherever you are. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. We'll get some calls on the other side. Talk about some headlines. Don't worry. Hey, buckle up. Derrick Henry straight into Carson Palmer. Guess who's next? Sean McDermott. Come on. Be a friend, tell a friend. That should be a good conversation. I feel like we're having good ones. They're forced, short conversations. Feel like we've gotten some good stuff out of it, though. We'll be back on the other side. Maybe a good conversation with you. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. That's the Pat McAfee Show.
God damn it! Oh, my God.
I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course. Right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, okay, we could probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. We were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
so we're down 3 with 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy. Kidding me.
All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me. Obviously, I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Leave
Yeah, so you're gonna go here, and then you're gonna open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers,
Appreciate it.
Hey. Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scotty.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no Scott King up here.
You right.
Giving the old white guys something to complain about. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back. Just want to reiterate the fact that we already know. Feel Good Friday is brought to you by our friends at CBDMD.
Oh, hell
yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I love CBDMD.
Sorry, Caden Wood.
Sorry.
This is CBDMD
Your time
show,
is
baby.
done.
Sorry. Hate to break it to you.
Yeah.
Our good friends at CBDMD had planned to use their read this week to keep the excitement flowing for the countdown to kickoff celebration super show, but we also heard the call for shorter scripts, they said.
Okay.
There you go.
So instead of hyping you up for all the wild moments and VIP guests that are headed your way, let's get straight to the product points so no one gets blamed for another tangent about Tom Tupa. Remember last time?
Oh, yeah.
So they do listen.
Yeah.
They do listen and they do adjust, which is, by the way, why we are a big CBDMD company.
Hell yeah.
What you need to buy is CBDPM. If you can't sleep at night, you need to buy CBDPM. If you lay down at night and you have eternal dread, you need CBDPM. If you lay down at night and you can't turn your brain off for whatever reason, whatever's going on in your life, you need CBDPM. If you're laying down and you're staring at the ceiling, you need to think to yourself in that moment, I need to go get some CBDPM from CBDMD.
That's right.
CBDPM puts me out like a light.
Like a light.
Like a light. Slept through the flight. CBDPM blends melatonin, ever heard of it? Valerian root, chamomile, and other sleep-promoting ingredients with 500 milligrams of high-quality CBD to help you get the sleep you need to have a super Sunday.
Hell yeah.
To help you feel even better this Friday, CBDMD is offering all of our listeners 25% off.
Okay.
Your next order when you use the code McAfee at checkout. Once again, that's CBDMD.com, promo code McAfee for 25% off your purchase of superior CBD products from CBDMD. Superior products.
That's
okay?
right.
Superior products.
25% off is a lot. It's almost a quarter.
It's the best.
Sean Payton talked earlier this week on a media run with Good Morning Football, I do believe. I am not 100% certain. That they were going to draft Patrick Mahomes. Sean Payton said the Saints were going to draft Patrick Mahomes. They had pick number 11. The Chiefs had pick number 12. They had pick 12. Chiefs had pick number 11. The thing about it is the Chiefs have Alex Smith, who, if you do recall, had like an MVP-like season the year after Patrick Mahomes was drafted. So there's no thought that the Saints thought, you know what, the Chiefs are going to take a quarterback. How you doing? Keep it moving. And then all of a sudden, Andy Reid and Veach and the boys say we're going to draft this quarterback, even though we got Alex Smith, and the Saints move forward in a different direction. Sean Payton said he was the best-looking prospect he's seen at quarterback ever, which, by the way, is a nice thing to say now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Nice thing to say now.
He knew, though.
Listen, I think he did. All right, I would assume he did. He's a great coach, but it is a great thing to have that story come out now, especially with how he's done, because there's been a lot of quarterbacks that have been drafted in pick 11, pick 12, who have not been fantastic or even higher than that. But Sean Payton said that Patrick Mahomes is the best college quarterback he has ever evaluated. Jeez. Could you imagine he goes to the Saints, they force out Drew Brees, I'd assume. Now, granted, Alex Smith started for an entire season except for the last game in which they were already in the playoffs, already had home field. No, maybe I forget if they had home field or not. But Patrick Mahomes played against the Denver Broncos in Denver, and it was that game I've been told that everybody in Kansas City said, we don't even care if Alex Smith wins the MVP or not. He's going to be moving. He goes to Washington. Everybody on earth questioned that move from Andy Reid. What are you doing, Andy? Because at that point, remember, Andy hadn't won a Super Bowl. The question was, can Andy win a Super Bowl? Now he's pushing a guy out that almost won a goddamn MVP, send him out of town. It's like, Andy, what are you doing? You had a guy. Little did we all know outside of that room that they had the guy, Patrick Mahomes. What do? Do you have Drew Brees just ride it out? Is this a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers situation? Because Drew Brees, we've seen, he hasn't even officially retired right now. When Jay Glazer came out right before the last game and said, this will be his last game or whatever, but Drew said, I'm still taking time to think about it. I guess if Patrick Mahomes is there, is he doing this is your team? No. Speech to him years ago, or is that that would have been a lot of fun to kind of watch play out there. That changes a lot of storylines in the NFL's history if that happens, and here we are talking about it because there ain't shit else to talk about.
It's wild because the year that Mahomes was drafted, the Saints went 11-5, and that was either what was first, Minneapolis or the PI?
Minneapolis.
So that was Minneapolis Miracle, and then the next year they were 13-2, and they had the PI in the NFC Championship, right? So I mean, it would have been tough to sit Drew down after going to those games.
Think about what we've got to witness with this Chiefs team. The moments we've got to witness. Would have never had it. Would have been down there sitting behind Drew Brees.
Yeah.
You don't think they would have eventually been like, "Hey, Mahomes is better. We can get a lot
Mike Thomas
for Drew Brees."
came back and played because he knew this was potentially Drew Brees' last year.
Yeah. And if they would have started Jimmy Winston, they may be playing in the Super Bowl still.
That's right.
Wow. We're not talking about whether or not the decision would have been right. I just think Drew Brees down there is, because the Super Bowl he won down there and the yards he's put up, I think the way Drew Brees is heralded in New Orleans and in the organization is rather high, I think. I think it is very, very, very high. I don't think anybody's forcing him out. Remember, Cameron Jordan did an interview last year whenever Drew Brees was potentially going to retire, and Cameron Jordan said, I'm playing for a team that has Drew Brees as quarterback. And you're like, well, he's thinking about retiring. We're not even thinking about a team without Drew Brees or whatever. I think that's how they view it. If Patrick Mahomes is doing what he probably did in Kansas City in practice down there in New Orleans, though, how does that become? Does Drew force him out, I wonder, Then you got to think about that entire scene. Yeah. Jimmy G situation. Like, what happens? That would have been wild. Would have been awesome. We weren't on a show yet, I don't think, so happy it didn't happen. Everybody else kind of got to go after it, but that would be crazy in the annals of the NFL history.
I mean, Pat probably would have eventually started because in practice you could have seen that Pat could throw it farther than Drew with his left hand. So, it probably would have been hard for Sean to look at that every day and not do something.
There was a guy, he came in, he was just like a camp leg for like a day or something. And it felt like he was talking shit. I thought he was disrespecting Vinatieri.
Oh.
Like, I don't know how, he didn't really, I don't think Vinatieri would ever say that he did either. But it just felt like something, I didn't like the vibe.
Snide.
So I started kicking lefty further than the guy. I was an asshole. He did beat me inevitably, but I was pushing, with my wrong foot. And I felt like a bit of an asshole. But that guy, I didn't think he was cool enough. We got along with all the guys that came in. Everybody that came in, we got along with. We literally loved when guys would come in because they were helping us out. This one guy, though, it felt like he was a little bit. Feels like you're a little bit too. You think you're here to compete with us. It feels like you think you're here to compete with Vinatieri. All right, let me just tell you, I'm the punter, and I would like to show you that you're not competing with Vinny. You're potentially in that whole thing. That's the only time that's ever happened. But imagine if Patty Mahomes did start doing that to Drew Brees in practice. Start throwing just lefty, and then Drew's balls are just falling out.
Brees enters free agency. He might have been the quarterback for the Colts last year.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz coming to the Colts.
Pumped.
Got about 25 seconds here before hour one ends. That was quick. That was quick.
Flew by.
McDermott will join us. Coach McDermott will join us at 1:25 EST. That'll be in the second hour. That'd be fantastic. Hey, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Then Mike Allstott, the A train. Yeah. It's coming down the tracks. Also, Ryan Clark, AJ Hawk, your phone calls on this Feel Good Friday. You got about 6 minutes. We will see you on the other side. Well, hello, sensual piano keys. You sound incredibly inspirational and motivational. Big announcement coming from our company. You know, throughout my entire life, I've made decisions that people have said, ooh, that is stupid. You've read about them, you heard about them. When I was in high school, I went to an underground poker game, won $1,400, flew myself down to Miami, won a kicking contest, and got a scholarship to West Virginia the next day. I turned my back on soccer that day. Everybody said, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? You have more schools looking at you for soccer than you do for football. What are you thinking? Fast forward 8 years with the Indianapolis Colts, and I was on top of the world, top of the mountain. How's the view? Not too shabby. And when I was at the top of my game, I decided, you know what? I'm going to pursue some other stuff. My friends and I are going to go to work on the internet. We're going to try to chase fulfillment as opposed to just a paycheck. And there were some interesting responses from people of power in the sporting world.
Make them tear the uniform off of you.
Sure.
Look, somebody needs to stage an intervention. People who know this guy, get to him now. Make him put his helmet back on and get to camp.
Oh no, there's no intervention, Wilbon. No, no, no. Here we are 3 years after that date, and it's a celebration, bitches! Cut the music! Let's hand out some bags to the boys. For the boys. For the boys. By the way, that's for you, brother.
Oh my God.
Are you home? All right, come out the front door.
What's up, dude?
What is this?
What's this?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What the fuck? Fuck you.
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
That is the bag of money.
FanDuel deal went through. There's $50,000 in there for you. Here's a backpack with $50,000 in it. Oh, $50,000 in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so there's $50,000 in there. Yeah, so there's $50,000.
Are you fucking serious?
Let's go.
You brought it back?
Oh man. Let's go, dude.
Let's go. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yo, this is...
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, dude.
We did it?
Couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank
Dude, it's a fuck ton of money.
you. guys.
When I asked Dan Patrick for some advice, he told me always take care of the boys.
Well, and you should know those people that are there with you, that their value cannot be overstated and should not be overstated.
So Mike Wilbon, they didn't hold my jersey on me. They didn't hold my helmet on me. We didn't have an intervention. What we have is a celebration. Because when you bet on yourself, sometimes you hit for big. And for us, the only place we'll bet for the next couple years in an exclusive deal, FanDuel backed the Brinks truck up to our office, and we have never been more thankful, more excited, and more together as we promote the greatest sports book on planet Earth.
God damn it!
Oh, my God.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. I'm in a bind right now, but we will battle through. It is Feel Good Friday, February 5th, 2021. Hour 2 of the show begins right now. Great beat drop there by Twine.
Oh, yeah.
Joining us in about 22 minutes will be head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Sean McDermott. I cannot wait to talk to him. Does he know the operation that was being run whenever Cole Beasley was interviewing with us just a couple weeks ago?
Great question.
Just in the background?
Brutal.
Sound like a steel mill. I mean, I wanted to talk to Cole Beasley. I thought it was going to be a good conversation.
He's the man.
I've seen him have some great interviews. I was excited for it. Couldn't hear a word he was saying. He couldn't hear us.
No.
There was a jugs machine going off into the phone. It sounded like they had a plug into the bottom of the phone. And every single time it was going right into the thing. They were trying to get better. They're trying to win some games, which they did this year. That team has gotten a lot better than where they were. Now remember, Sean McDermott's first year made the playoffs for the Buffalo Bills. First time, long time for the Buffalo Bills. He had Tyrod Taylor at quarterback.
Yep.
So get out of town.
See ya.
Draft Josh Allen. First year. Second year. Then all of a sudden, wow, we got a player. I'm excited to talk to the patience, the process, and how he got everybody to buy into what he was selling whenever they had a potential down year, especially after getting rid of a playoff quarterback. All the boys are here at Tone Diggs, Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, at Viva La Zito, sitting on a very, very comfortable couch. It appears. Zito, we have a poll up today, and this is going to lead into a conversation about gambling. So I'm excited to see where the poll lies. Zito, please have your super poll on the ready.
Yep, today is who's going to win Sunday. Right now, last place, Buccaneers 46% and Chiefs 54% with over 70,000 votes.
Woo. I do like that you stuck with last place still.
Yeah. One and two.
Hey, could say silver.
Could have.
Yeah. Could say second place.
Oh, yeah.
Could say the loser this Sunday. It says 70,000 votes, which is so gigantic. I mean, are we getting spoiled with it? Because we had 150,000, 170,000, 200 and some thousand. We like watching that thing grow. But I feel like some point we're going to think this is normal. This is not normal to have 70,000 people voting on polls on the internet or any polls really at this particular point. So we appreciate everybody that spent their time. But everybody's saying Chiefs win 54%, 46% saying Buccaneers. The gambling is not going that way. All right, the gambling is the complete opposite of that. FanDuel just released who is betting where in all of their states that is up there. It's a pretty interesting graphic because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got Michigan, they got Indiana, they got Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Iowa. Nope.
Colorado.
Huh. It's down there, huh?
Really?
Is that really where Colorado is? I would have thought it would have been switched with the one right above it there. Because if you go, longitude, latitude thing, right? What, that latitude, right? Because it would go across. Are we Indiana and Colorado are the same latitude? Is that real?
No way.
I did this the other day too.
It's a perfect box too.
I want to let you know, I thought they had the map wrong. Like I was, I was about to, and because I won a geography bowl. Let's let's not get this crazy.
That was a long time ago, my friend.
It was, obviously. It does feel like it's longer and longer by the minute here, but especially by every time Ty forces something in.
No.
Yeah, in my lungs, basically. It's unbelievable. I would not have known that. And for those that are just listening, we are looking at a map on a screen that has all the states that have the sports book legal for FanDuel. And there's only 3 states that are betting on the Chiefs to win the money line bets. And then everybody else is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm very intrigued by that. Also with where Colorado is. Go ahead and look at your maps if you get a chance. You can follow along with our. And if you knew that, I bet you did. I mean, it is.
That close.
Damn. New Mexico.
Jeez.
Who would have thought?
And then Utah's pretty. I mean, I thought Utah would be higher because every time I see Colorado, Utah, what? It's just snow.
Well, you think of mountains.
Salt Lake City.
Northern New Mexico, also very mountainous.
We are more north than Colorado right now, where we are.
Yeah.
To be honest, we're 1 degree more.
Mm-hmm. Still, I mean, we're
damn close.
By the way, shout out to us.
Much
I bought
flatter.
that thing, by the way. I think it's where our exact location was. But I would have thought everybody would have thought the Chiefs were going to win this game. It's wild to me. Is this Tom Brady? Is this the fact that everybody's like, yeah, we've watched for the last 20 years. We understand what's going on. We hear the stories of this guy's got the house to himself for the last 2 weeks. He's got weapons now. He's been able to win this on a very regular occasion in the past without really this stacked of a lineup. Now, granted, he had Randy and the boys or whatever, but this offensive lineup is unbelievable for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. Is that why everybody's doing that? Because I hate to break it to people. On the other side, they got guns too. They got a lot of them as well. That's very interesting to me, though, that this is how people are betting their money. They're like, listen, it's my hard-earned money. I want to have a horse in this race. My team didn't make the Super Bowl. I'm going to fucking bet on Tom Brady. That's what I'm going to do. I'm intrigued by it.
I think it's Tom, and I think it's the weapons that Tom has. And then on the other side, Tampa Bay's D-line is getting a lot of credit. We talked about how the sportsbooks have the most liability if JPP or Shaq Barrett were to win the MVP. So I think they do have. There's some worry out there about the tackles for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, because old buddy, they on TV earlier this week, they had the guy that's supposed to block Jason Pierre-Paul. Mm-hmm. They had him talking, doing an interview. He had a great beard, I believe, and I'd never heard of the guy. Okay, I'm assuming he's a very good football player. He's in the NFL. He's playing for the Chiefs, even though he's, after a couple people have gotten hurt or whatever, he's there. And then they showed him talking, and then they immediately went to like Jason Pierre-Paul talking, and then highlights of him, and you look and you go, all right, the eye test says that Jason Pierre-Paul is potentially going to have maybe 40 to 50 sacks this weekend, but we got to remember, play calls, getting the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands quick, some chips out of the backfield maybe from the boys. We'll shift some protection over to help out old buddy. But when you do that, you got Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, who has never won a Super Bowl before, in the middle. He's been playing for a long time. He is very rich. What is he playing for? Let's assume it's for a Super Bowl ring. Went to the Rams. Now he's at Tampa. I'm assuming he's not taking as much money as he could elsewhere. He wants to win a Super Bowl. That guy, if he plays his best game, which he could very easily do so. It is the fucking Super Bowl, and this is forever. He could be a problem up the gut. How much can you swing protection? We got Shaq Barrett potentially coming. I mean, they might have that guy on an island, but you got to assume Andy Reid has that potentially prepared for.
Yeah, and you got to assume the plays that they're going to be drawing up is going to just solely benefit them to get the ball out quick so that D-line can't eat so much. If they're just throwing screens to McCole Hardman and Tyreek Hill, I mean, I still like those odds if I'm just going for 70 and a score.
Screens crush it whenever they bring pressure.
Yeah.
The D-line for Tampa is so good, you don't have to bring pressure. So then you're able to have everybody still back in coverage. That is the recipe people have said to beat the Chiefs. And the recipe is for your D-line to be able to get pressure without having to bring help. Because if you have to bring help, then bang, they have too many weapons, somebody isn't doubled, you're off and running, Patrick Mahomes is smarter than you. They have a D-line that is deep enough that they can cause hell all by themselves, and then you can drop the other 7 guys back in there, and hopefully you double Tyreek, then you double Travis. Okay, so now you got 3 people left.
Exactly.
All right, and now you got to figure out Sammy, McCole. Sammy's playing, by the way. He's healthy.
Yeah.
Look for him to hit the over on him, whatever that is. I assume he'll make a massive play in this whole thing. It's just, I don't know. The people betting on the Bucs is wild to me, and it must be because the D-line and Tom Brady. That has to be it.
They got the Pringle, too. I mean, don't let the Pringle get loose. That guy's got burners as well.
Robinson's got a fresh haircut.
I forgot. Oh. Hey, and Kilgore's playing too, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if it really is like those. You know, you walk past the mall. Used to, by the way. Malls used to be a thing, by the way. Like people would go to an area, and it would be
A lot of stores.
one building. People would walk, and then there'd be a lot of stores.
Really?
Food court.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Sakya, Japan.
You mean Amazon?
I forgot what I was going to say. I had a good one, though. The mall was a good
Haircut.
reference. Who?
Haircut. Mall.
Oh, yeah. And you walk past, like, the makeup things, and they have the picture of, like, the half makeup and the half not.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kilgore's fade is, like, COVID fade here and then, like, I've been in quarantine hair over here. That'd be
It probably is.
Because he had to go in quarantine.
I'd like to see that cut.
Because his hair cutter, a la Shefty. Let's get some phone calls, shall we? Brett in Buffalo. What's going on, Brett?
Hey, how's it going, Pat and the boys? Hey, I just needed to make a couple comments. My boys come home from school. They're 12 and 11, and they get their chores done, and then they sit down and they say, "What McAfee have to say today, Dad?"
Oh, I'll tell you what. I had no idea we had that demo, but tell those kids I appreciate them, and I feel like they should be listening to other things. But the fact that you let us, you should not be letting your kids watch our shit. I don't think, Brett.
I think it's. I don't care. It's the best. It's real, you know.
Yeah, but it's very dumb, Brett. It is very, very dumb. And we appreciate the honor of being a part of that. So, Brett, what do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, I just had one more comment for you, Pat. I guess I'm going to go with the conversation thing. So, he was 11 last year watching Marquette King when you were doing the XFL game with the polo tie on, and he hits that punt, and that kid knocks it in the end zone. He looks at me and goes, "McAfee's going to lose his shit."
See, if my kid's anything like those kids, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
If his kid looked at him. Now, there does seem to be a lot of my child stories popping off on the internet, you know, because, fact checking can't really be done there because the kid said it or whatever.
Yeah.
If his kid said, Pat's going to lose his shit or anything like that, love that kid.
Doobie's going to be way better than that.
Doobie?
Oh, yeah.
Doobie's going to stink.
No.
I know it. You know. We all know my child is going to suck.
No
It's going to be a
way.
long, probably, 17 years? Is 18 whenever it becomes a normal person again?
Yeah. Just have him live with Tim for 5 years.
I don't know.
And then bring him in. And he'll be like, "Thank you so much for saving me."
Jay's
He'll be
laughing back
grateful,
there.
Jay, what's so funny, man?
What are
Sending
you
the kid
laughing
to
about,
boot camp
Jay?
for
He's
5
already
years?
done that with a few dogs, so I don't know if he'll take the kid.
Exactly.
Let's go to Jonah in Youngstown, Ohio. What's going on, Jonah? Religious family.
Pat, boys, what's up?
Hey, just hanging out. How are you, Jonah?
Good, man, chilling. Hey, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the boys and the Thank You, Aaron contest for picking me, and just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jonah, congratulations on winning. There was a lot of entries, by the way. It trended for a long time. We appreciate you so much for being a part of that.
Absolutely, man. It's always good to get the bar down here and
oh boy,
my house down here. So, got a pretty good setup.
Appreciate you, Jonah.
That's a setup right there.
Jonah's got a bar down in the basement. He leaves his kids and watches the show.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's an awesome setup. He sent a picture of his bar. It is an awesome bar. Appreciate you for listening, Jonah. Jonah's a religious name, right?
Yeah.
We almost got into a pretty dope religious conversation yesterday with Warwick Dunn. He shut it down real quick.
Palmer.
I was so excited for that. Last night I was thinking about, how that conversation could have went. I might have been to the most services. I don't know how much Bobby Bowden was taking him to. I don't know if it was just Southern Baptist and Catholic, but I feel like I've gone to a lot of different houses of the Lord who talk to that man in a lot of different fashions. And I thought we could have dove into that yesterday, honestly. Have not been to a snake church yet.
What's that?
Like a snake revival tent?
No, they have churches that the snakes are like a part of the whole service.
Like Medusa.
Easterby.
Oh, speaking of, I knew there was a reason I got to the services. Some footage of Jack Easterby's service has surfaced on the internet. There's two different videos. The one is a little bit longer than the other one, so I think the shorter one is the one that's much more impressive. And was I just describing to the back room which video that we wanted to get up onto the screen? Most definitely the case. Jack Easterby, hey, he's cool, Chaplain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's cracking jokes up there. Some of Jack Easterby's work has made its way onto the internet now because Jack Easterby's name has been in the headlines so much because he has gone from chaplain to runner of an NFL football team alongside Cal McNair. I want to let you know, I have no idea if we're allowed to run this. This is not our footage. This was tweeted on the internet. We found this on the internet. So we are giving a courtesy to the news source that broke this. It's on the internet. This is not us, remember? This is Jack Easterby going to work here.
And you seem to be from God because you're doing some miracles and you're walking on water and all that stuff. Like, that's a pretty good deal. By the way, y'all think Jesus like paused on water and like shot out to the fish? That's funny right there. I laugh at that all the time. I'm like, man, you know, Jesus walking on water like, hey, what's up, fish? Right, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's fun.
Was that a stand-up?
Yeah.
The guy's hilarious.
I showed that video, you know, last night I watched it. My wife seen it. She said, well, is that a comedian you like now? And I said, no, not a comedian. That's God's man. That's God's man that was put into the NFL to run the Houston Texans. You see how he potentially is an incredibly entertaining chaplain. Isn't that right, Gumpy?
I mean, when you have to tell people that something's funny, you know it is funny.
Oh, okay. Come on.
I didn't know Chaplain Easterby had that drip, though.
Yeah.
He
does have that drip.
Hey, in the earlier video, the other video, there's a longer one. He starts talking about people from different teams that they have traveled around. He gets down into Houston, actually, where he currently resides, and he talks about a belt buckle. He does the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Easterby is passionate, if anything. You know, he's going to give his all up there. It is a performance from the Lord.
I think I'm all in. Texans might be the 1 seed next year.
Cal McNair saw that thing and was like, oh, shit. Run this team with me.
Suit him up. Put a C on his chest.
Oh, man. Something's going to come from us showing that, by the way, I believe. That, you know.
A message from God.
That's
beyond
most likely.
And I think Easterby, by the way, we're trying to spread the word.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Hey, we're on a mission from God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Blues Travelers. Not Blues Travelers.
Blues Brothers.
Traveler, by the way.
I knew you, man.
Hell of a fucking harmonica.
Yeah.
They had
Blues
a car.
Traveler, great.
They had a car.
Huh?
Blues Brothers had a car.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
traveled.
absolutely. Yeah, you're right. They did travel. Great suits, too. Yeah. What's that one? Rubber Biscuit? They go through that entire song. Have you ever heard them do that? It might be one of the most impressive musical performances you've ever seen. It's from two comedians doing it.
Really?
Yeah, when they do that song in the thing, it is. I can't do it. You could try to do it. You won't be able to accomplish it. It's pretty impressive. How many drugs were being done, you think, during all those movies? Were being shot?
God.
All of them.
A lot of cocaine.
That was just kind of the thing back in the day, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You watch more and more of these docs, and people just talk about the cocaine as if it's like Atlanta in 2021.
Well, it's not gone yet.
No, I know, yeah, Atlanta.
People still running rampage.
Chris in Indianapolis, what do you got going on, dude? Any of that? No, hopefully none of that, obviously.
What's going on, Pat and the boys?
Hey, just hanging out. We just got into a drug talk there, which we probably shouldn't have, but we appreciate you for joining us and maybe diverting us into another area of conversation.
Right. I just wanted to first happy Feel Good Fridays and wish you guys good luck on your prop bets this weekend.
Hey, let's go, Chris. We appreciate that.
No problem. So, yeah, I wanted to go back to you guys' wings and pizza debate.
Here it is.
So, so yeah, like I said, I live in Indianapolis, so I know a lot of the chicken spots. So there's this one particular one, if you want to write it down. It's called R&R Extreme Wings.
It's on Keystone. It's great.
On
I didn't hear
Keystone.
as you spoke while he was saying it. And I don't have my ear thing, so what was it?
R&R. It's on Keystone and Fall River.
Yeah, it's probably the best wings in Indy.
You know the issue, Chris? Are you born and raised in Indianapolis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, the pizza sucks out here, Chris. You know, and that's the issue, Chris, is there's no Italians made their way west of Youngstown, Ohio, I don't think. And if they did, they just went straight to Chicago because there's rivers there so they can do their, whatever they had to do. Indianapolis, I don't think any Italians called home. And I think the pizza community here is suffering because of that. And I do believe there are some other local pizza places, but growing up in Pittsburgh where there are too many Italians, you're talking about too many pizza places, and there's so many good pizza. I assume New York, by the way, very similar. Philadelphia is probably similar to this. Chicago probably has incredible pizza. And there seems to be one trend in all those places, by the way, and that's Italian communities are rather strong there. Here in Indiana, no, I understand that R&R is probably incredible, genuinely. But, Chris, I don't think you've gotten a chance to experience real pizza, don't you think?
Well, the best pizza I've probably had is probably Goodfellas downtown.
From Kentucky. Very good.
Oh, Kentucky, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's probably the best pizza I have in Indy. But, yeah, you probably won't find any good authentic Italian pizza here in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Chris gets it.
He does.
We got to get to a break. I respected Chris there. Gave us a nice chicken place to shop at. Go get our food at. Diggs, you eat there? Diggs like wings.
I've had it. It's good.
Do they deliver?
I assume so.
It looks like an old Taco Bell, right?
It does. It's,
okay.
Rest in peace, that Taco Bell.
Kind of looks like it was like a drive-in like roller skating place.
Oh no.
Oh, they have those out here, by the way. Still.
Sonic.
Kind of, yeah,
but like old school.
Roller derby.
Cheeseburger places or whatever. All right, we got to get to a break. A much better conversation will be happening on the other side. Sean McDermott, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, will be joining us. Cannot wait to chat with him. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Feel Good Friday, February 5th, 2021. Let's finish this thing out strong, huh, team? Hey, let's finish this out strong. Let's go. We got about 4 minutes. Go ahead and get it together. I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human, which is very interesting, right? I assume for a lot of people to hear. AJ said, no, you are not a normal human. But because all the stories about you before this year, to be honest, a lot of people, the way they believed is you were the smug king almost is what the thing about it. And then getting a chance to chat with you, it's like, well, that's not the case at all. How is that like something you have to focus on? I assume it gets hard whenever you're hanging out with, Scott Stapp is hanging Aaron Rodgers jerseys up in his goddamn office. That has to be pretty weird.
Well, look, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think a lot of times, people have said things about me, and it's been the same few people, and that's been kind of the prevailing story or thing that's reflected on. I think for me, I talk a lot about the work I did on myself. It was nice, and it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't sign the show to have, and you guys know, we talked about this off air, but there wasn't some agenda doing this. It was fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week. Yeah, sounds pretty awesome.
It has been, by the way.
It sounds amazing. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me and making themselves more relevant by using my name or, running with stories that were not really based in any type of fact. And look, I've grown as a person. I've said things and done things that I wish I'd handled a little better. But this was a great, natural, authentic, whatever, whether it was 15 minutes at the stadium or 45 minutes, to just bullshit and have a conversation. If you're a friend of mine, if you know me, I think this is about as normal as interaction you're going to see from me. It's not a lot of BS. You're not going to hear cliches and garbage. I'm going to, shoot from the hip mostly. Tell you as much as I feel comfortable telling. I feel like I've been as honest as I could be. I've told you guys a lot of fun stuff. That's fun for me because then I don't have to maybe rehash it on a Wednesday, or people get to see a different side of you that maybe they didn't even know was there or didn't think was there. And it's been fun for me. I really have. I've appreciated every single week we've done these. And like I said, the best part is there was no agenda. There was no plan. I mean, even us, we didn't know we were going to go 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. We just started fucking talking, right? And then this came out, and it's been a lot of fun.
Welcome back from your bathroom break. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Here's Pat.
Welcome back to said show on this Feel Good Friday, February 5th, 2021, years after zero. Very excited for the conversation we're about to have. This man became the head coach of a team, made the playoffs, said, hey, we appreciate what you did to the QB, but we're going to build this thing. They get Josh Allen. Patience, culture builds. This year, they go on a beautiful run. Their quarterback took a massive leap from year 1 to year 2, then again in year 2 to year 3. The head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia leader, ladies and gentlemen, Sean McDermott. Yeah! How are you, boss?
I'm great. Pat, how are you doing, man?
Hey, a couple quick things I want to ask about to lead off because I just got text messaged a piece of information. I believe you and I share a massive fanhood for somebody, and that's Tyler Big Ball Bass. That guy slaughters footballs over there for you guys. How did you find this dude? And early, when he was not maybe having as much success, right? Young kickers, they can kind of happen to find it. But then he became a weapon for you guys. And were you as surprised as I am about that small of a guy kicking a ball, maybe the hardest I've ever seen a ball kicked every single time?
Yeah, he really did a great job in his first season. And what I love about him is he's got the one, piece of eye black underneath the eye. He's got a little bit of swagger. He gives the flex after he has a big kick. And, really he did that in college. I was watching tape and Heath Farwell, a special teams coordinator, said, hey, this is the guy. And I'm watching him. I'm going, hey, you know what? And then I saw the flex and I'm like, hey, rewind that because everybody wants a kicker, right? That's more than just a kicker. He's a football player, and I think that's what really endears him to his teammates.
It was awesome. Is that the type of culture that you have built up there? Because it's been impressive to watch that you make the playoffs, Tyrod Taylor. Then you say, hey, Tyrod, have a good one. You kind of build the culture from in there. And I think a lot of people from outside looking in, myself included, we complimented the patience of the Bills organization for being like, hey, they're going to try to build this thing. Like a lot of patience. And the culture that you've built seems to be very, very strong. What is it about your locker room that you like? What is it about the team that you like? And how was it getting to this point through some of those days that maybe weren't as great early in the building process?
Yeah, well, as far as Tyrod's concerned, he did a great job for us, and I don't know that we said, hey, but.
I'm sorry. You get it though.
A lot of respect for Tyrod, and it's really made up by people, right? So that we've got great players that are good people, and the locker room is solid here in Buffalo. Good veteran leaders, and so that's really what we're all about, and it's just trying to get the right people in the door and let it ride from there.
Josh's jump has been almost amazing to watch, to be honest with you. From year 1 to year 2, he got so much better. Everybody's like, okay, you guys make the playoffs. This guy's going to be a guy. And then this past offseason, I guess when we talked to him, he said he got lasers attached to his body, and he did some lasering stuff, and he lined up his arm with his hips like it was a goal, and he looked unbelievable. Obviously, Stephon Diggs coming in alongside Cole Beasley and the other weapons helps a lot. But what do you think it was that made him make this incredible jump? And what are you looking forward to as Josh just continues to grow in this whole thing?
Yeah, he's done a great job. I mean, that laser treatment, I think I need it for my hair here. bring that with him next time he comes out east here. But no, he's done a phenomenal job. Couldn't be more prouder of the work that he's put in and the progress he's made. And our offensive staff, Coach Dable, does a great job with him. And look, I can't wait to see how Josh comes back in after the off season here. So he's incredibly driven. He continues to learn about this league and how this league works. And I think the AFC Championship game was a front row seat for all of us, including Josh, to see, hey, what it really looks like and give credit where credit's due to the Kansas City Chiefs. And we wish them all the best. But we're going to go back to work. And I know Josh is going to lead us in the years to come here.
How this year with the COVID protocols, by the way, congrats on making it through a season. By the way, that had to be awesome to try to tackle every single day as a head coach of a team. But how did you have to get creative? How I would assume it's going to be difficult whenever guys are all in their homes and just watching into a Zoom call every single day. How did you just look at it, I would assume, as like, hey, everybody has to do this? Obviously you did that. But at what point did there get creativity? How did you keep the team together? Because nobody was really allowed to eat around each other or be around each other. What was the toughest thing you think this season?
Yeah, Pat, I think it was really hard to connect with the team in meetings because you're not only are you spaced out, but you're behind a mask, so they really can't see your emotions, your facial expressions that go with the communication piece. And I thought our staff again did a great job all the way back in the off season where we put in the quarantine mode, if you will, and I thought we gained an advantage through the way we handled that, and then having the right players, the players that Brandon Beane has put in this locker room goes a long way in terms of these guys got good intangibles, they've got good DNA, and they handled it extremely well.
What's your style? You seem like an entertaining guy. I feel like I would very much enjoy the way you operate on a day-to-day. You get along with the players of the team rather well, I'd assume. Yeah,
I mean, listen, I think they know who I am. They know what I'm all about. They know that there's very clear expectations and the standard by which I expect things. And I think when you can do that and lay that foundation and you surround that with good players and good people and a good staff, it makes my job a whole lot easier.
When you become a head coach, was there ever like a, hey, I got to be this type of guy as a coach or anything like that? Because I got a chance, Chuck became a head coach with us. And it was interesting, like watching him have to go through certain situations as a head coach, because Chuck, I think, was beloved by his players, but then he felt like sometimes as a head coach, okay, I got to be able to do this whole thing as well. When you became a head coach in the NFL, did you change any way that you did anything? Did you have to? Was there anything in your life?
Yeah, I think you do. Obviously, the responsibilities are different, and once in a while you got to be the bad guy, and you have to be okay with that. As long as you have one goal in mind, and that's to make people better and to improve your football team to win games. But I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, is feeling like they have to be someone that they're not or change because they're a head coach. And yeah, there is some of that adjustment that has to go with the job. But at the end of the day, you got the job because of who you are, and you gotta be yourself.
Hey, that big ass hat you wear. Oh, cover that bald ass head you got. I mean, that thing.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Do they sell those? They should sell them. I thought about buying one immediately upon seeing the picture of you out there. I mean, it was awesome. Your team was so impressive this year. And then obviously you talked about it in the AFC Championship game. You got a front row seat. What is it about that Chiefs team? And how is it? Because we talk about it every day. Okay, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they have somehow, and I'm sure you guys have asked this question in privately, they have signed everybody on their team to a long-term deal somehow, it feels like. They've been able to keep everybody in the building. It makes no sense. But that's in the AFC, and I would assume you guys know, like, okay, we're going to probably have to run into them for a while. I was a part of the Colts team that Peyton and Tom were running into each other every single year. This year, the storyline in the AFC was one that, hey, this is probably going to be a matchup we're going to see for some time to come in this entire thing. What is it about the Chiefs, and how do you think, were they the same team from years like last year, you think, this year?
Well, I think every team changes year to year, as you know, Pat, and I think it all starts at the top with Andy Reid. They've got great leadership, a great coach in Andy. I've worked with Andy for 12 years in Philadelphia, and having that continuity along with Brett Veach, their GM, it goes a long way. In terms of sustaining success, not just having it for 1 year or two. And so they've been now to 3 AFC Championship games and 2 Super Bowls in a row, and very close to being 3 Super Bowls in a row. And I think that's really where it starts. And then signing and re-signing, key players is obviously a big part of it to keep your core together and then build around your core.
Andy Reid and Veach seem to be on the same page. And I think that's a conversation in the NFL that doesn't happen enough. Like, hey, the coach and the GM need to see the team the same way. And it doesn't always happen. And normally, by the way, it gets exposed and it doesn't work. And it's just kind of the way it is. It seems like you and Mr. Bean have an incredible relationship, an incredible view on this whole thing. You guys have been really patient together. How is that? And when did that start? Just naturally? Or is that something that had to be decided upon?
Well, that relationship's an important one, and every year you see that relationship fall apart at different teams and for different reasons. So I think you got to have the right people in those jobs, and they have to be aligned philosophically on how they want to do it, and support each other. And that's what I'm fortunate to have in Brandon Bean. He does a phenomenal job of making my life and my job easier, and I hope I help out in a similar way with him. And but that's, again, going back to the people quotient, and I think it just starts with people, and but you got to hang together, because there's going to be some tough times as you try and build it, as you said, and we've had some of those tough moments, but our hope and desire is we're getting better every year.
Coach, do you guys hear, back in the day, the old cliche was, hey, don't read the press clippings, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Just keep it out there. It's impossible now. It is absolutely impossible now, for players at least. For you, how much of that stuff do you hear? I would assume you don't live completely under a football rock. I mean, you might, but there has to be some stuff that you hear from outside. Does that ever trickle its way in? Does that happen? Or are you a guy who's just, anything that's said outside here, I do not give a single damn about?
Well, I don't go that far, but I think you do have to have an element of discipline in this role, in this job, and the same with the GM job. So, as I think it was Bill Polian once said, if you spend too much time reading what they're saying about you, you're going to end up sitting next to them. So, I try and be respectful but everything in moderation. I think that's the key. And there does need to be an element of discipline to get yourself at least through the season, because it's a journey, as you know, right? There's going to be every year, whether you're in the Super Bowl or not, it's a journey, and you're going to have some highs, you're going to have some lows and challenges. And it's really, to me, a test of how long a group of people can hang together. And that's a key piece of it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to win games in the NFL. That is one of the oldest cliches of all time, but it's real. And you see a lot of teams that are very talented that lose. The team that you're building up there in Buffalo is awesome to watch. Seem to win a lot of games. I'm kind of bummed that Bills Mafia didn't get a chance to, do anything awesome this year, especially with the squad. Next year, obviously, let's assume that the smart people of our society figure it out and get us to be able to do the whole thing so we can all enjoy things again. But Bills Mafia back in that stadium with the team you guys have, that has to be something you look forward to, especially with that airport arrival group that was sitting out there. What a legendary fan base up there.
Yeah, you look like you'd fit right in with the Bills Mafia.
Yeah, by the way, I think I would. Yeah,
you may need to take your shirt off or something.
Yeah,
right?
Not right now. It's been a long fall. It has been a journey. It has been a journey.
No, it's a fan base that's unmatched, really. I mean, I've been fortunate to be in a couple different spots before landing in Buffalo, and just an incredible fan base, very passionate, love their team, support the team in down years. And it was 17 years before we got here, before they were back in the playoffs again. And those midnight or early morning arrivals back at the airport when it's 10 degrees and it's snowing outside, I don't know of another fan base that would greet their team the way the Bills Mafia greets us.
And also worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, add that in there too. But that was awesome. That was like one of those things you watch and you're like, that had to be such a cool moment. Just that whole arrival thing. Last question. The boys have some questions for you. We appreciate you stopping by today, man. I very much appreciate this. Will you watch the Super Bowl? And how will it be something like, will you be at a gathering? How will players, a lot of players that I still talk to that are in the league, do not care about the specific thing. We'll watch highlights. Maybe if they're around, they'll watch it, but nobody. Do you watch, especially with how close? I mean, here we go. The Bills Mafia can taste it, at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it every year the same. I try and watch the game and learn a little bit. I love to watch the game unfold. It's as big of a stage as there is in our business. And my wife knows that I really don't look forward to going to Super Bowl parties because not me. I don't like to be bothered during the Super Bowl because, again, I think it's an opportunity to watch the game being played the right way at the highest level, and you can learn from that. We can all learn from that. So, but yeah, I'm not a big Super Bowl gathering guy. But I do plan on watching it.
Decision making in those massive moments. Do you consider yourself more of an aggressive guy, analytics guy? At what point do you have somebody in your ear from the sky that has an entire database of the exact yardage with the wind and everything like that on what you should do? How about those decisions in those big moments? What all factors into those types of things?
Yeah, that's a lot of information to process in a short amount of time. I think any head coach would tell you that. I'm probably a little bit of both. I mean, I do listen to analytics. At the end of the day, trust your gut. I think it's the way to go. But we do put a lot of work into it leading up to the game, and then during the game as things changed throughout the course of the game. But I got a great staff that helps me here, and overall we've been known to be pretty aggressive, and that's how I like to play it overall. And no situation's the same, but we always look to grow from every situation that we've had and build a good inventory going forward. So that's a big part of the game, as you know.
Those analytics are crazy. I couldn't even fathom a new one popping into my ear. Hey, I want to let you know in this particular situation, it is actually 7.4% chance higher that you're going to, I couldn't even, all right, should we go or not? At one point, I couldn't even fathom that. And that's why I'll never be a head coach, which is good. Tone Diggs, what do you got?
Coach, you obviously came up on the defensive side of the ball, and every single year that you've been a head coach, your defense has been ranked higher than your offense. Especially last year, you guys had one of the bbest in the league. But then this year, it seemed like the offense may have carried the team at some points during the season. How different was that for you?
Yeah, that was. I mean, listen, I don't want to say it was intentional, but we made it a point this offseason prior to this year to go out and say we got to score more points, and in order to do that, you've got to have weapons to do that. And Brandon went out and got Stephon Diggs, as we all know, and that his impact was obviously significant in year one, and so it's hard to have a balanced roster in all three phases. And, we're a group that also believes in playing well on special teams. And I think we showed that with the players we added there, and the results speak for themselves there. So, listen, this is a game where you got to score points. And I believe in the coach and our coaches as a staff, but also on the defensive side that we'll develop and continue to develop a good defense around here. And so, it's at the end of the day, it's about complementary football and scoring points.
When did you decide when you interviewed for the job, did you have to lay out what you thought the philosophies would be, offense, defense, special teams, overall culture when you get in there? And then does that change whenever Tom Brady leaves the AFC East and it seems like the Patriots, at what do you have to adjust year to year on what the offense, defense, and special teams are going to look like? Or is that like just an overall philosophy thing?
Well, I think you start with the overall philosophy, and then you obviously have to evolve with the times so the game doesn't pass you by. And but listen, I learned I had to build a pretty good foundation and learned a lot being around Andy years ago, and then Ron Rivera in Carolina. So whereby I was able to kind of come up with what I think is the right approach. And if you study the game, even though it does change and evolve over the course of time, the game still in some way stays the same. And so philosophically, I think there's a lot of defensive head coaches out there that, want the best defense. And we certainly want a good defense and the best defense we can have. But you also have to be able to score points to win games. And I like winning. I like scoring, 20, 30 points, whatever we can score. And I think there's a lot of defensive coaches that like winning 9-7. And that's a hard life to live over the course of time.
We could be enjoying this much more. Okay, we could be enjoying this much more.
Right.
I had a coach that once said, it was right before a game, he would sit down next to me and Vinatieri, and we would just have I feel like he was coming to us potentially just to lighten up for a little bit or whatever, like we have nothing really going on in warm-ups. We're out here to kick balls, okay? We get it. We're pretty prepared at this moment. And this coach would walk over, maybe a little stressed or whatever, but also I don't think anybody else would talk to him. And the first time he sat down, he said, just trying to score one more point than the other team. And Vinny goes, can we not try to get 50 more than the other? Hey, this will be a lot more fun for all of us here if we tried to score. And
either in the fourth quarter would be nice.
Oh, man. Tom Brady, let's talk about him. Just got mentioned there. The conversation revolving around him for good reason. I mean, he's in his 10th Super Bowl at this point. It makes no sense how this whole thing has gone. What is it about him you think that his teams win? Like you had to battle him, obviously. What is it about Tom Brady you think that makes him the guy that people are going to talk about 70, 80, 90 years from now if the league and the world survives that long?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I had a chance to witness playing him even before I got to Buffalo and then in the division here for a couple of years is he's got an incredible desire to win and a burning desire, as I would call it, to win. And he seems like he puts in an incredible amount of time and he holds people around him to a high standard and in fact improves people by the way he plays and approaches the game in terms of helping people improve those that are around him. So I think that's what great players do. That's what great leaders do. And I can't wait to watch the Super Bowl because of I think it's going to be a heck of a game and two really good teams, two really good quarterbacks, two really good coaches.
What coaches, you mentioned Andy Reid there, Ron Rivera a lot. Do you, in your process of becoming a head coach, are you just like picking things from people that you're kind of because the coaching tree thing is talked about so much, and I think it's because that's the style. For instance, Sean McVay had what did he have, a croissant with a guy?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Sean McVay had a croissant with a guy. Guy became a head coach. Okay, like the next day, and he's now in his entire. Okay, like that becomes his thing. And I assume whenever they hire these people in the tree, they're like, hey, we think you're going to be that person. Is that an accurate depiction of what people expect and think? And how accurate is that in reality when it comes to the coaching tree thing?
0% accuracy on that, man. It's okay. Look, at the end of the day, you can be around people, but if you're not cut out for the job, it's not going to work. So you got to be around people, be a sponge, and then make it your own. And I think that's important. And the longer you're around people, the better chance you have to take the good from them and leave the rest. And that's what you got to do in the different people you're around. And as you go through your career and the different stops of your career and becoming who you're trying to become as a coach.
That's the thought, though, if any time a coach gets hired from a coaching tree, the immediate follow is, oh, okay, we got this guy. Like, whoa. I don't know if we got the root of the tree there. I mean, we might have got a limb here. I don't know how much it is. It's very interesting. What do you got, Ty?
Coach, when you look at the quarterback carousel this offseason, it's obviously something we talk about a lot, but will you pay any attention to that? Like if you see something that a big time quarterback that gets traded, does that shock you at all, or is that something you don't really pay any attention to?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're very happy with Josh, so that's because of that. I'll pay less attention to it than normal if we didn't have a quarterback, but I still think you're always keeping an eye on the industry, right? The league and how things go down, and if there's new trends evolving with how trades happen and the quarterback carousel that you're mentioning. Listen, they're hard to find, and we're fortunate in Buffalo that we've got one that we feel really good about, and he's only going to get better.
He was in the MVP conversation this year, and a lot of people think, talking about what you were just talking about, Stephon Diggs coming in helped out a lot. I mean, Cole Beasley, obviously an unbelievable wide receiver. Tough interview whenever he has a jugs machine right behind him. He's talking the entire time. But the broad is Stephon Diggs. I don't know if you heard about that, Coach. I wonder if that made it cross your desk. I hope not. But Stephon Diggs coming to your team. When that decision was being made, what were your thoughts? Because I think there was, I don't know, I would assume a lot of people thought Stephon Diggs maybe because of what happened with Minnesota or whatever. I think a lot of people thought with how you've built the culture there, how will this work? It has worked perfectly, it seems like, from the outside looking in. What were your thoughts immediately upon learning that Stephon Diggs was probably coming to the team?
Yeah, that's where you got to trust the GM. That's where that relationship is so important, where he knows what I value and I know what he values, and we're on the same page. And so, he's got to trust what we do from a coaching standpoint, and I've got to trust what he does from a personnel standpoint. And we do a great job of communicating with one another. And but within that, there's always calculated risk to any of these moves and what you're doing, whether it's draft or in this case, trading for a player. And I can't give Stephon Diggs more credit for the way he came in here, endeared himself to his new teammates, worked his tail off, and the result was what you saw this season. So we look forward to more years with Stephon, and I think it's only going to get better as we move forward.
There were some incredible moments with him and your team this year, and then I cannot believe DeAndre caught that ball. I cannot. I thought
that was a deal that I wouldn't come on unless you wouldn't bring that up.
I know. But you just talked about it because my first thought was Stephon Diggs had that incredible. That was an incredible. That game was electric, Coach. I know it was probably it was a heartbreaker for you, but that game was awesome to watch you guys battle there. And then Stephon had that moment, and then we still don't know how he caught that. I just want to let you know, this show, the reason why he came on this show, has no idea how he caught it, and damn it, we wish he didn't. Yeah. You know what I mean? Damn it, we wish he didn't. That was insane.
Player. An unbelievable moment for the NFL. Obviously hard to watch right now, but it's an unbelievable moment. That's why our game is the way it is, and it's got special players and just special moments, which to me, it's obviously unbiased, but it's the best game going right now.
By far. Biggest, best league, best game, everything like that. Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, Coach, it was reported that the Patriots were the other team trying to acquire Stephon Diggs. Was that something you were aware of, and did that give you guys more motivation to get the deal done?
Nah, I mean, that's all those kind of rumors fly, sometimes during the fact, sometimes after the fact. And at the end of the day, we were trying to do what was best for what we thought was for us. And but that may have been the case, but we weren't getting into that.
Oh, you know what? Minnesota might have floated those out, by the way. Ooh. To kind of, yeah. And by the way, very smart. Keep the blinders on. You know what I mean? Keep the blinders on. Don't even do it. Coach, this has been an incredible conversation. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys, man. Great to be on with you. You guys do a great job.
Well, good luck this offseason. And next season, cannot wait to see the boys back in the Bills Mafia with the fans around them. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach Sean McDermott. Thank you. That was an incredible conversation.
Yeah.
I had no idea hey, that's a good convo there.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea he looks just like Bill Burr.
I do. 10 times he said things.
Entire time.
10 times.
Is that Bill Burr's brother?
I freaked early. I had a couple moments where I was like, because remember, during the break, who we thought was potentially Sean McDermott was a very different looking Sean McDermott. It was just like, I would assume it was a PR person from the Bills or something. They were sitting on the call. And it wasn't until I was introing him that Sean McDermott, we thought we were potentially getting trolled by somebody. Yeah. He comes in, incredible conversation, looks exactly like Bill Burr. Forgot to ask him about the guy who set up the interview with Cole Beasley that ruined it from Plumber, Jason Barberino.
Oh, that guy's out of the building now. He got fired.
I don't know. Well, maybe now after that interview because we've won over potentially the guy.
Yeah, true.
I hope he comes back on, man.
Yeah, it was an awesome conversation.
That was a really cool conversation. And by the way, there's more. Whoa! Got Mike Allstott.
A-Train.
With A-Train alongside A to the J, okay? And then Ryan Clark will also be joining us. This has been an insane Friday. I did not expect that conversation right there.
That was
deep.
Hey, there was a lot of football conversation in there, too.
Him and Bean were both great. That's why it makes sense that they're great together.
They get along.
In that organization.
That is a big deal. When the head coach and GM, he said, you see it happen every single year. You see it kind of publicly fall apart. It's very obvious when one person wants the team to go this way, the other person, probably much more realistic, is saying we have to go this way. And then all of a sudden things
explodes.
Let's get to a caller here. Corey in Texas. What's going on, Corey?
Hey, what's up, boys? Happy Feel Good Friday.
Hey, happy Feel Good Friday to you as well. What do you want to talk about, pal? We got about 30 seconds.
I don't know if y'all seen the lineup, but Eric Fisher, the starting left tackle for the Chiefs, he is out with the Achilles tear.
All right, Corey.
Breaking news.
Holy shit, are you serious?
Guys, come on. Corey tried. Corey was just trying to be a good guy.
I didn't see it.
February 5th, 2021, Adam Schefter, Chiefs officially ruled out Willie Gay and Eric Fisher for Super Bowl 55. Sammy Watkins is listed as questionable. Fisher's a big, that's notable. And Achilles, by the way, if you go out normally, but he is officially out, which is why Jason Pierre-Paul at plus 10,000, potentially MVP. Something to think about. On the other side, we got Mike Allstott, the A-Train. Choo-choo. legend, fullback, running back for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll talk to him about football. Hey, alongside A to the J Hawk. I cannot wait to chat with him. Last time he called us from his office, he was coaching a high school football team. I wonder if they won. What are his thoughts on Tampa Bay being good for the next couple years? Hour 3's on the other side. You got about 6 minutes. Go ahead and take a shit.
God damn it! Oh my God.
Trick shot challenge. Balcony. Yep. Trick shot challenge, half court shot.
No problem. Matt, what Foxy? These are fun games. These are fun little games.
What we want. You did it.
Trick shot, throw that football. Who?
Easy game. What's next, Foxy?
Got a trick shot for you.
Yeah, what is it?
Drop kick into the net. Trick shot challenge. Into the bucket.
By the way, I was standing.
Hold on, let me get over here.
Watch that back, you know.
That's a good toss.
Gotta watch behind it. All that shit. What's next, brother? Got any more brain busters? I mean, I'm not sure it's better because we're in a building, but I have to keep it below the lights, below our air venter thing that broke and caught on fire yesterday. Can't go outside because it's a torrential downpour, so let's give it a go. In Indianapolis, Indiana. With the shot.
Let's go!
No!
Trick shot challenge. 4 bags in a row.
That's a corner. It's not a trick shot. What's next? Cakewalk. How's it done? You know what I mean? Well, I took the top off and he's gonna come right through. number 2 pick in the NFL draft for a reason. Guy can spin!
I ain't finna tell you how I got away with this shit.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hour 3 is about to begin here on this Friday, February 5th, just 2 days before the Super Bowl will take place, where the Kansas City Chiefs will travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Super Bowl 55. Who will win? 3-point spread currently. The money has been moving. A lot of people betting on Tampa Bay Gronkaneers to win the game outright over the Kansas City Chiefs. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm excited to watch the game, and I'm betting $30,000 at some point this hour on tails at -103. Yeah. A man who yesterday said he thinks it's going to be heads. Ladies and gentlemen, A to the Jayhawk.
Yeah! Come on.
AJ, are you picking heads strictly because you knew I was going to pick tails for $30,000?
I honestly did not know you were picking tails when you asked me to make a choice yesterday.
Well, it's going to set up for rather good, entertaining internet whenever this thing pops off, because on Sunday at the Countdown to Kickoff Celebration Super Show from 4 o'clock till the coin toss on youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show, and 4:30 to 6:30 on SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio. We will be live for that reaction, and I cannot wait for it. Let's hope the $30,000 hits on tails, because we will obviously be giving that money away as soon as we get it. Yeah! And if AJ's right, nobody makes any money, nobody gets any gifts, and the stream probably ends immediately on a sad note going into Super Bowl 55.
Thanks, AJ.
Joining us now is the A-Train, a man who is a Super Bowl champion, an All-Pro, a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Ring of Honor, absolute stud of a human, Mike Allstott. Yeah! Hell yeah! How's it going, bub?
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, I have a question. A-Train, you and A to the J meet in the hole. Did that ever happen? AJ, I'm not 100% sure if you were in the league whenever Mike Allstott was in the league. And is this a desired matchup if you were back in the day, prime of Mike Allstott career, you saw that A to the J forehead and jawline and knew that it was about to be a day, and his neck? Is that something you would think about? Oh.
Is he frozen?
Mike, is that something?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Would you look at a neck of a man and know you were potentially in for a long ass day, Mike Allstott?
It's all about pad level. How low are you going to get? You know what I mean? So,
was that your entire mission?
If he wants to stick his neck in there, we'll have a good battle.
For the record, I am not sticking my neck in there. That's what another how annoying was it? I guess when people were going low on you all the time, because I know if I see you squared up in a hole,
I can't imagine anyone wants to stay up with you. Like, was that tough trying to protect your knees and ankles and everything, but just because you're such a big bruiser?
It was. I mean, there were situations, but I think, I think my type of style of running, I did get very low. My pad level was down there, so I think I attacked it a little bit sooner than if they were getting at my knees or ankles. They were pretty much, in the turf. And if they did go low, I was just going to make sure that they got a knee or some type of foul in the head.
You got to punish them. You got to remind them, hey, let's not do this all game, okay? I got knees for everybody out here. I can hand out knees to everybody if they want to go low. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that you're in the Ring of Honor for. Man, when you think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you think of you running people over in that number 40. I mean, it was awesome. But now it sounds like Tom's going to potentially play for another 10 years maybe. It feels like that roster, as long as Tom's going to be there, it's going to be good. It has to be a good time to be a member of the Buccaneers organization, I'd assume.
Yeah, no, it's crazy just having that at 43 years old. I think something came out, he wants to play past 45, right? And it's unbelievable how he keeps his body and maintaining his body and everything he has with the game. And you know what? I was telling somebody the other day, would you play that long? I would play forever. I would have played forever. And like, why'd you retire? I'm like, well, the doctor came in and told me I couldn't play no more. But yeah, so I totally in this corner, and I would play forever, and he's playing forever, and he's playing at a high level. And look at him, he's taking the Bucs to the Super Bowl.
What kind of impact do you think a guy like him, even though it is a weird COVID year and he can't interact like they normally do, but like how much just confidence and juice does it give the rest of the team when you have Tom Brady coming in and first year taking you to the Super Bowl?
Immediate. It's just immediate effect. His locker room presence, his demeanor about him, his work ethic, everything we read, we hear about, he's doing, and he does it from day one. And he doesn't. How should I say? He expects excellence from the get-go. There's no day off, and that's why he's been in either an AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl, majority of his career. So it's we didn't expect anything less. All the fans, the city, we expected to be at this stage right now, this time of year in the Super Bowl, and Tom would have thought it had been a letdown if he wasn't in the Super Bowl. That's how he thinks. That's how Gronk thinks. That's how all the other guys believe throughout the season when you have a guy like that in your locker room. So it's just it's contagious, the culture, and it's kind of like how we felt when I was playing with the Bucs. We had that tight core, we had that locker room. It was unbelievable. And people ask me, what do I miss about football? Well, there's no question I miss between the lines and playing on Sunday, but it was the grind behind the scenes with my guys and the failures and the successes and the journey that took us to where we had to be when we did win in 2002-03 Super Bowl. So it's just, from the get-go, immediate presence of culture change.
I feel bad for people that don't get to experience a great team. Some people come into the NFL and they don't have that feeling that you just had and the one I'd assume Aaron had there for a bit. I got a chance to experience the tail end of one with Peyton's group and then the Andrew Luck one there early. It's cool to see that, because a lot of teams you see them get splintered. It feels like the good teams are the ones that can stick around, stick together. Pivoting back to something you said earlier, you said you would have played forever if you could have. Let's say you were still playing right now. Your game with this NFL, you'd be better than it was back in the day? Do you think you'd be your stats and everything would be better than it was back in the day? How do you think your play would have adjusted for today's NFL?
I don't think my style has any room to adjust, right? I run a 4-3, you know what I mean? So, I just, when my time's called, it's just like when I play, goal line, short yardage, 4-minute run the clock out, big plays, big situations, catching the ball in the flat, doing whatever that was asked. But, you'll see teams nowadays, they're pounding the ball downhill and doing a thing. I mean, we have that great 1-2 punch with our backs at the Buccaneers. They're going straight downhill. And we have a good balanced attack when it comes to, Tom and his passing game and the running game.
Playoff Lenny's awesome. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you broke up there.
Oh, no, it's okay. Go ahead, AJ.
He was talking about playoff Leonard Fournette, how well this guy's like another dimension he has brought to this team. He catches the ball out of the backfield like you did a lot too. But I'm curious, in your transition you had from Tony Dungy to John Gruden, the big blockbuster move. Gruden comes in. Like, how different was their approaches?
Their approach is night and day. I mean, it's. But again, their philosophies in a lot of ways, from their excellence and what they expected out of your play, and how they expected you to be a professional each and every day. It hasn't changed. But I think with Coach Dungy, I was his first draft pick in '96, and then we already had Sapp and Brooks and all the other guys there, and Lynch, and we didn't have to be told a lot. We were all passionate about the game. We wanted to be excellent. We wanted to be great. And when you have a great leader like that tells you 1 or 2 times, we are all coachable. And if you have coachable guys that buy into a culture and a way of doing it, we just needed a little bit of guidance. We were all immature, young little bucks, but we gradually learned through like I said earlier, through our failures, and then we got to stand on that stage at the end of the day. And John was a big part of that offensive side to get us over the hump there in 2002, and bringing some key guys in and a really dynamic offense and utilizing my skills, Pittman's skills. We had Keyshawn, JJ, Joe Jaravicius, Keenan McCardle, Ken Diller. So we had a plethora of a lot of skill, in our offense, and we just needed a little spark, and that's what we did. I mean, people forget that we were averaging with our great defense over 28 points a game. So we had it going into the playoffs, kind of like what the Buccaneers got going on right now.
How do you see this game going? I assume that you're pulling for Tampa, but how does Tampa Bay win this game, you think, against the Chiefs? How do they get the dub on Sunday, you think?
I feel who makes the least amount of mistakes. Between that turnover ratio and third down conversion. And I really feel comfortable with our defense and what they showed against the Saints and on the road, and Green Bay on the road. They came up big. Tom threw some big interceptions, costly interceptions, in the NFC Championship game. But our defense, held Rodgers, in situations where he didn't score any points. So I really feel that the confidence level for our defense right now is riding high, and they're believing in each other. And then you have the talent that Tom Brady and Ed offense has is unbelievable. And don't get me wrong, so does Kansas City. But I think it's going to be who makes a fewer mistakes, and I feel that time of possession. If we can keep the ball in our hands and pound the rock a little bit, and keep Mahomes off the field, it's going to be great.
I can't thank you enough for joining us, man. It's a great Friday. Looking at all the balls.
No, it's always great.
It is. I really appreciate you joining us. Good luck to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Where will you be watching the game at?
On my couch.
Nice. Hell yeah. A lot of water. I assume you have a couple waters, maybe some wings. What are we doing for the game?
Clear stuff. Yes.
Hey, good luck out there, A-Train. We appreciate you. Mike Allstott.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Appreciate you.
That guy would have ran your ass over.
Yeah. I agree 100%. He's bigger than me, stronger than me, probably faster than me. Yeah, I'm going low, but I'm going to eat a couple knees to the back of the
Just the thought, though, of you, that potentially does have to happen in AJ's career. Like, my career does not have that. AJ's career has All right, there's a chance that during this season, I'm going to have to stand there, and a guy like Mike Allstott and I are just going to run our faces into each other for 60 minutes, basically, because that was their offense, by the way, just giving him the ball. That is incredible to think about. Was there anybody that you had to do that to that was an absolute nightmare?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, a lot of fullbacks around that used to be tough in the NFC North to take on. But, yeah, I mean, I played against Adrian Peterson for 8 years in a row, whatever he was there when I was, twice a year. The guy's an absolute monster. Always had good physical fullbacks in front of him as well. So Marshawn Lynch, any of those guys. There's so many big, strong, powerful dudes that you have to realize, like, all right, man, we better rally to the ball today. We're not bringing this guy down with just one.
Hey, gonna need some backup, all right? You are too, though, by the way, and I'm gonna come get you. That's an interesting thing. Mike Allstott's a legend, dude.
The best.
It really is.
If you would have played one more year, you would have played AJ.
Really?
Yeah, 2008, they played each other.
Well, AJ would have been dancing on his grave, too, at the end of his career. AJ was just a young buck.
Retire him.
You know what I mean? He's just a young buck out there.
Only player in the league with shoulder pads as big as AJ's.
What'd you say?
Only player in the league with shoulder pads as big as yours.
My high school pads. He was wearing, like, my high school pads, yeah.
I would have played football forever, he said.
He hurt his neck, right? He had a neck injury that forced him to retire.
Is that what it was?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That neck roll didn't work then, right?
No,
what are we doing? What is the roll in there? Did you ever? You never had the neck roll, huh?
When I was like, I wore a cowboy collar early on in college.
Oh,
I took it off, I
yes.
think, after my sophomore year.
How did you stop doing that? Because I think once you put that on, that's hard to come back from, right? Normally you see somebody do that, and it's like, well, that's that person now. They are going to wear that forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of weird when I first took it off, but I realized like it doesn't do anything to help your neck or your traps or anything. Like it doesn't do anything for that. So I don't know. It felt much, much better. When I took it off, I realized like, wow, how in the hell did I ever wear that thing?
So you're telling me all the people that wear it is just for show? It doesn't do anything? I thought it saved necks.
I mean, it can. I guess it does. But if your head is straight down, which would happen every once in a while when I was playing, that neck roll's not doing anything for that.
Oh, you're talking about when you were leading with the crown of your helmet.
Mm-hmm. Or if I was getting, like, you know, someone was trying to crack block me at the last second, I saw them and kind of lowered my head into their head. Like, things like that, that's where the neck roll's not going to help.
How many concussions do you think you have had, though? Like, I feel like we're at a point now where we can talk about this, you know? Earlier you said 0, you know, that whole thing. How many do you think?
I honestly don't. I think 0. I really do.
But I'm just saying, after talking to Allstott there, you know, and realizing that you potentially had to run into guys like that on a very regular basis, there wasn't even a single thought of you, like a little bit, oh, I remember that one time where, you know, there was a little bit of a dinger up there.
Yeah.
And not a single, you're not a single one, huh?
Not like that. No, nothing bad. I did realize, though, as I got older, I felt like I remember I got to Cincinnati, our first OTA, they ran like a screen, and I think I've told us, like I took on this guard there, Zeitler, who's an absolute monster, robot, just so strong. And we're not wearing pads, just helmets. And I was like, I thought I broke my neck in the first play. I was like, I don't know if I can play football anymore. And like, I mean, I'm getting hurt in OTAs, and I kept going, never told anybody about it. It was fine, but it shook me for a second. I'm like, if this is what it feels like in OTAs, what's it feel like when we put pads on?
I'm happy to hear, though, that you guys that just beat the shit out of your bodies do have those conversations of like, because that's why you hear a lot of guys right before training camp retire, you know, because they had all off season and then they're thinking about what's about to come. It's like, what's about to come? Well, not only am I going to have to wake up early and do football all day, every day, where I've just been to learn a system I probably already know inside and out. And we have to do this because we got to build team chemistry. And I just was on a beach a week ago, but also I got to go bang heads with somebody. And I've already made a lot of money. So I've already made a lot of money. And now I got to go bang my head off of somebody.
So Vontae?
Those practices, that was halftime. It's a young man's game. Those practices, those are a lot of hits too that go unaccounted for. I would say you got to be thinking about how many concussions you've had at some point in your life.
I mean, I've obviously thought about like your future brain health. We never know. None of us know what's going to eventually happen with us, I guess. But I don't sit there and worry about it, you know, daily.
Fucking Mickey Mouse internet.
We talked to Sean McDermott in the middle of a goddamn blizzard over there in Buffalo. Yeah. Okay, no problem at all with the connection.
Palmer's in Idaho.
Mike Allstott down there in Tampa.
Yeah.
Is it the internet, or are we sure it's not a symptom of AJ's repeated bashing of his brain into another human being?
True. That might be like, this is your brain, actually, it might be saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, error. Yeah. We got to get to a break. On the other side, we have Ryan Clark joining us. Can't wait to talk to Ryan. He has won a Super Bowl. We'll talk to him about Aaron Rodgers. You know, he had great Aaron Rodgers stories.
AJ defeated him in the Super Bowl.
AJ was a part of that team, but Ryan Clark played defense, so there's something.
Ipso facto.
But yeah, we'll talk to Ryan Clark. He's great. I cannot wait to chat with him. And then we'll set the $30,000 tails bet right here live. We'll take some phone calls, and we'll wrap this Friday up going into the Super Bowl week. How do you feel about it, AJ?
I feel great. I feel bad, though, if I'm picking heads and it's going to go against the people. Like, I just picked heads because that's what I think is going to win.
Hey, charge it to the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's going to be feelings hurt whenever you are a prognosticator, pal. That's just the way it goes. We'll be back on the other side with Ryan Clark. This is the Pat McAfee Show, February 5th, 2021. Let me tell you a little story about these statistics. Troy Palamalu, okay? Fucking Troy Palamalu. So we had a fake for the Pittsburgh Steelers that was a 100%er. We didn't even have a cancel the goddamn play because it was a 100%er. If we ever end up in this situation, inside the 7-yard line on the left hash, it is a 100%er that the C gap will be wide open and we will just part the C to the left. It'll be a touchdown. 100%er. We're playing in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in. I grew up in Pittsburgh. I won the punt, pass, and kick national championship, AJ. National championship, AJ.
Congrats.
AJ, did you ever win the national championship punt, pass, and kick?
I think I got 3rd or 4th out of 4 at the Nationals.
I'm proud of you, man. Anyways, so we're there in that stadium, okay? A lot of McAfee's in there. A lot of McAfee's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown, night game, Sunday Night Football, I believe it was, right here, touchdown. We get into that situation, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is really going to happen. We're like on the 6, on the left hash. It's 4th and goal now. Field goal team's jogging on. I'm like, well, fuck, it's about to, I'm ready. I am ready for this to happen. So I get out there. I get down. Vinny's like happy for me. Vinny's like very excited. He's like, let's fucking go. Like Vinny's excited for me at this moment. I'm like, here we go. So I make the call. I forget what it was. So I start saying it, right? And everybody's looking at me like, okay, bright eyes. Here we go. Let's get after it. Offensive linemen are dead ass tired. They do not want to be in the middle of a field goal anyways. So they're just like, all right, I don't give a fuck if you die here, but this should work. Let's get some points. And all of a sudden, I go through my cadence, I call it, I get down, and Troy Palamalu's fucking ass goes ahead for however long his career was at this point. I think it was like 9 years or 8 years at this point. Not a once has he ever gone to this side of the field over here to the left and covered, stood right in the C gap. Never. He lined up exactly where he had lined in film 100% of the time. And then as soon as I got to like the second cadence right before set, he just bounced his little ass right over to the C gap. And I like stopped everything I was doing and I literally just looked at him. And I gave him like a, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are you there right now? And then I stood up and said, we are kicking it. We have to kick it. We are kicking this. And then I get down, and Vinatieri kicks it, and I jog off the field, and Chuck Pagano comes running up next to me. He's like, hey, good job. What'd you see? I said, what did I see? Palamalu just fucking went right into the goddamn C gap. What did I see? What did I see? And he goes, okay, sounds good. Good call then. And good call then. And then Vinatieri's like, hey, way to go, buddy. I'm like, way to go? Are we not going to talk about how big of a fucking asshole Troy Palamalu is for what just happened right there? So that's.
I saw the angel of death waiting for me in the C gap.
It's unbelievable. What, you thought I was going to run him over? No way. He's probably going to strip me and score a touchdown the other fucking. That's Palamalu, bro. That ain't just your backyard football with your son. These are professional fucking athletes. He'd probably jump over the lineman, pick me up, and run me into the other fucking end zone if he wanted to. That's what he would have done.
The hard-hitting safety of his generation, too. I mean, Ed Reed, great cover safety. I don't know that you would have feared him, but
Ed Reed, I would have feared Ed Reed. Yeah, if I saw Ed Reed in that C gap, absolutely. Reed, boy, the best safety you ever seen, boy. I ain't doing shit to Ed Reed.
No, Ed Reed would have made the tackle. I'm saying that Palamalu would have shaved years off your life.
Oh, my God.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. AJ, there's been a lot of discussion off air that happened in this studio, okay? The Toxic Table has been dancing on their toxic dance floor for the last 3 minutes.
No.
Like Copperhead Road just hit down there in Roanoke, Virginia Tech. It seems like they are line dancing and toxicity over here. We will now pivot away to somebody that is incredible on ESPN. You can see him at 5 a.m. on ESPN. You can see him at 10 a.m. on ESPN. You can see him in the afternoon. You can see him at midnight on ESPN. This man's an electric factory Super Bowl champ, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Clark. What's going on, man?
What up, though, man? How y'all doing?
Hey, I assume you are currently in between ESPN hits. You are on all day, every day, and we absolutely love it over here. So congrats on the season, Ryan. You had a great season.
Appreciate it. Hey, here's what's funny. I'm actually not. You know, all the good people are in Tampa, so I'm just here alone in Baton Rouge by myself, man. Just training folks and, you know, trying to beat the vid, bro. That's it.
What
That's
happened?
a shame.
Why didn't you go down?
What happened, man?
I don't pick, right? So I don't get to pick who goes. You know, that's not necessarily part of my job. But, you know, they went to the regular NFL Live crew this year. So those guys went. I think Booger's there and I think Lou's there. And so what I'm going to do is on Sunday, though, I'll go to D.C. and I'll work with SVP after the game.
There we go.
So that's my slot this week.
There we go. Okay, that's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Hey, that Baton Rouge song that all those drunks sang after LSU won the national championship last year down in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Foxy and I were there as the trophy was being presented. Is that just like every night thing down there in Baton Rouge, like at midnight? No. Is that something that plays?
Well, no, they don't do it like that. They only do it when good things are happening or bad things are happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those songs that commemorates a moment. You know what I mean? We don't want to listen to it all the time. At first, it was about all the time. Now it's about, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I'm going to drink my sorrows away. I'm going to get totally tore up, and we're going to play the song, and we're going to cry and sing it together. Or it's I'm having an amazing day. I just won a championship. We are also going to drink and get tore up about that and then listen to the song as well.
Okay, that's nice to know.
So basically, it's about drinking, getting torn up, and singing together.
Which, by the way, I think a lot of people just assume all of Louisiana is about. And by the way, not a bad thing to be known about. Not a bad thing to be known for. That sounds like a great time. Let's talk about the game this weekend, Ryan. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. I assume your not entire take, but you have a view on the defense is not being talked about on either side here, right? I mean, every once in a while the conversation will lend towards, hey, Jace Pierre-Paul plus 10,000 could get MVP if he gets 5 sacks on Patrick Mahomes against a replacement tackle, or maybe Shaq Barrett. Watch Von Miller do that whenever he was in Denver. Maybe he'll go off. How do you feel about the defenses in this game, and which offense you think is least likely to get stopped?
You know what? I think neither are going to get stopped this week. But I think it's about critical football plays, right? Critical moments. And AJ knows this. You know this too, Pat. It's about who comes up with the play when it's most needed. Listen, we've watched Patrick Mahomes be under siege before. Guy I know is the head trainer at New Orleans, and we were kind of talking about Patrick Mahomes, what it looks like from field level. And obviously, if you're a trainer in New Orleans, you love Drew Brees. And he's used to like that pinpoint accuracy, going through your progressions as they're supposed to happen. And he goes, I've never seen anything like it. It felt like backyard football. He's pointing guys one way, he's running backwards, he's doing different things. And so it's kind of impossible to stop that, right? So even if you are getting pressure off both sides, don't expect him or don't expect Patrick Mahomes to look like Cam Newton in that Super Bowl. Respectfully, but don't expect that. And so Pat's going to find ways to make plays. You see Tyreek Hill and those guys. What it's going to be about for Tampa on defense is how much pressure you get on him, and what do you do on the back end where he doesn't have his outlet right away. If you go back to week 12, bro, like I can't throw a football, but I would have known who to throw it to and where to throw it by the way Tampa Bay lined up in the first movement of their back end. They were playing single high a lot. They were leaving Carlton Davis one-on-one with Tyreek Hill. Like, you know, Adam Schefter talked about the hair cutter, not the barber, but the hair cutter. Adam Schefter.
Oh, the best. The best.
Right? It was so good, right? Carlton Davis probably wanted the hair cutter to come. He was wishing that the hair cutter would have went to the facility that week and that Tyreek Hill would have been in the seat first. And so defensively, Todd Bowles has to do some different things. He has to add some different wrinkles because if Pat Mahomes knows where he's going, he's getting there right now. And now you think about the Kansas City Chiefs. If there's a defensive coordinator that's still alive, that's in the world, that has to feel good about what he does against Tom Brady, doesn't have to be Steve Spagnuolo. Like, doesn't he have to feel like, you know what? Not saying that I'm like the Brady stopper, you know, like Shane Battier was the Kobe stopper. Then he went out, hit 50 on it. You know, not like he feels like he's the Brady stopper, but you think about what he did in the Super Bowl with the New York Giants, with the NASCAR package. Also, you go early on this year, he forced two interceptions because Brady was pressured. He had to get the ball out of his hands. He was dialing up free rushers and free blitzers on Tom Brady. So he has to feel good about that. And so I think there will be some plays made these games by the offenses, but which defense comes up with the critical play, I think changes the game, and that could be many different people.
Ryan, if you were the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Bucks, I guess what would you try to do to at least slow this offense down? Like double, people always say, "Oh, you got to double Tyreek, you got to double Kelsey." Like, what can they legit try?
Got to double.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to double at times, AJ. But if you go back, Atlanta Falcons played very well against the Kansas City Chiefs. I know people won't think about it because it's Atlanta and they stink. But Atlanta was a single high team, right? They played a lot of cover three, a lot of man. That week, they went to a two shell. They played everything out of a two deep shell, whether they were rolling the cover two, whether they were getting to one. And Patrick Mahomes had to read everything after the snap. They also made him take some of the underneath stuff. They also made him work the ball down the football field. I think you got to do some of those things if you're Tampa Bay. But you do have to double sometimes. Travis Kelce is the guy they go to on third down. He's the guy that in critical moments when you need a certain catch or you need a certain amount of yardage, you go to. We've seen Denzel Ward on him. We've seen Tre'Davious White on him, both in the last two games. I think you have to double him on third and on third and manageable, on third and medium. And Tyreek Hill, you're going to have to slide the safety to him out of the middle of the field and say, you know what, Murphy Bunting, you know what, Jamel Dean, y'all got to win on McCole Hardman. Y'all got to win on Sammy Watkins. And then there's going to be some times I think you do double him with a guy underneath and then you playing a half shell to him. You got to do some of those things and switch it up because what happens is, and y'all know it, like when you're good at something, you feel like you can just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in Pittsburgh, we were a fire zone team. You know, AJ, you played on a fire zone team before. And no matter what, we felt like if we send in Troy and you blocking him with one man and we can outnumber you, we're going to win. And so we go play Tom Brady like that every time, bro. And he would cook us. One year it was just straight up. One year we draft well. We got some good young, you know, long, athletic, lengthy corners. And we played everything from a two shell. We played two man and one robber the entire game. And we ended up winning that game because it was something Tom hadn't seen from us. We got to move into it. But we had to stop saying, you know what? We weren't being ignorant. We was being ignorant. We had to stop being ignorant and say, we got to have this game plan to beat Tom because what we do normally doesn't work. And I think you're going to have to get some of that this week from Tampa Bay.
And that's like the Seattle Seahawks defense, right? They just played that one defense, and then when the Legion of Boom left, that thing all kind of died. They tried to do it in Atlanta. That defense has kind of been beat at this point. There is some people that say, hey, we're the best at this. You're just going to have to beat us at some point whenever you have the players. But with the way the offenses are now, I think that's going to be difficult to continue to do, especially as Patrick Mahomes becomes a play processor as he gets older, just like Aaron, just like Tom, just like Peyton. I mean, that's going to be interesting to watch that thing grow. Travis Kelce is unguardable, it seems like, and I agree with your sentiment that when they need it, they're going to Travis Kelce. I think Gronk is that same way, though. Who's going to cover Gronk, you think? How do they manage to take care of Gronk? Because there's a guy for a long time for Tom. When Tom needed it, who's he go? He goes to Gronk. And we talked to Michael Lombardi yesterday, I think, and he said his hands are like toilet seats whenever you meet Gronk. His hands are like toilet seats. He can run. He has like the nimbility somehow, and he's a Clydesdale. It makes no sense what he is, but Tom, in big moments, has gone to him in the past. How can you stop him? Just like Travis Kelce, who, by the way, going to go down the conversation as a Mount Rushmore tight end or whatever when he's done.
Yeah.
But how do you stop Gronk, you think?
Well, what's been stopping Gronk is Tampa Bay's need to run a certain offense in order to protect Tom Brady, right? As things shifted from, like, go back to the Kansas City game, which is the last game that they lost. Obviously, the Saints had beat them a couple of games before, and it was about pressure on Tom Brady. The Saints won because they got pressure, and also the Kansas City Chiefs won because they were able to get pressure and create turnovers. And so now they go to 12 personnel where they're using tight ends more often, only sending one tight end out in the route and keeping another into block. That worked extremely well against Washington. Obviously, they started to run the ball more. And so I don't necessarily know if Gronk is used in the passing game the way that we're used to seeing him. Like, you go back to the Saints game, he has the one big catch in the red zone, but that was it. And so I don't necessarily know if now's the time where you focus on Gronk in that way. I think what the Kansas City Chiefs do have is a young rookie named L'Jarius Sneed, who is their nickelback, and they play a ton of nickel. Dirty Dan Sorensen, who's their dime back, comes in their sub packages, does a good job on tight ends as well. And I think those guys will be, on Gronk a little bit, maybe even Juan Thornhill, but they're going to probably be more concerned with what he does with the backs out of the backfield in this game. You think back as far as Kevin Falk, you think James White, and you look at when Tom Brady has been extremely successful in these games, it has been because he's used his backs very well. So I think those guys, Leonard Fournette, especially in the pass game, will be huge. But I do agree with this about Gronk. I think if it gets down to, nut cutting time, the last great Super Bowl Brady pass we saw was down the seam to Rob Gronkowski against the Los Angeles Rams, which was a great throw, great catch, great play. And so if he comes up with that one or two plays from Tom, I think that's what we see more from him than a consistent, steady dose of it.
Hey, Ryan, did the Tampa Bay Bucks have to play almost a perfect game to get a win here? Or is there a possibility Tom could throw 3 picks like he did in the NFC Championship and they can still squeak out a victory?
Well, hell no. If he throws 3 picks, no. Right? You're like, and listen, we come on the show and I have like this thing with Aaron Rodgers because y'all beat us and he beat us and he was really good. He was kind of a turd about it. But, in all truth, like I tell people, that's why he's my favorite quarterback. Right? Like until I saw Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback I pointed to as like, that's the best we've ever seen. Like, I don't care what the Super Bowl say and all that. When I was on the field, a dude I felt like I couldn't make a mistake against was Aaron Rodgers. I think that Patrick Mahomes is now that guy as well. Like, if you throw 3 interceptions against the Kansas City Chiefs, it does 2 things. The first thing it does, it gives Patrick Mahomes extra possessions. He don't need extra possessions. We're trying to limit his possessions. The other thing it does, it keeps you from scoring. And you always feel like points are at a premium, right? Which is why everybody was pissed off with Sean McDermott. Like, bro, you kicking field goals on 4th and 2? Dog, Patrick Mahomes on the other side. Like, what are you doing? And two, Andy Reid, man, like, I don't even know how he wears those Tommy Bahama shirts with as big as his stones are because he ain't tripping. He's going for it on 4th. He don't care
with Chad Henne.
What'd you say?
He went for it on 4th with Chad Henne.
With Chad Henne, bro. That's what I'm saying. And so, so you can't turn it over for that reason. But when you look at playing against Patrick Mahomes and this team, the defense has to come up with turnovers, right? As they've done throughout the playoffs. And we got to get the good time. We got to get first half time from last week. We got to get some of that late season time from this year. We can't get the Saints 2 times time. We can't get Chicago time. We can't get Tom that played against Kansas City in week 12. If Tom Brady's that guy, you don't win. He has to play well, but defensively they have to shine. We got to see a little bit of what they've been in the playoffs, a little bit of what they were week 6 against the Green Bay Packers.
Nick?
RC, I have to ask you a homer question. If you were GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers, what would you be looking to do with that team this offseason?
Super Bowl week. You got to change who they become offensively. I think defensively you're fine. You hope you can get Bud Dupree back on a 1-year deal. I hate to say it, because as a player you want him to get his money, but when you get hurt, try to keep that defense intact as much as possible. Obviously, Devin Bush, you want him healthy, but offensively, you got to get back to a physical running game. that's when Pittsburgh is great. And I know history doesn't win games, but history says, okay, this is how this organization has played well. You got to get back to a run game. So now in play action, Chase Claypool can get open. Now James Washington can be big. You're going to be replacing, Vance McDonald and other people on that front line. And I think as far as the people you get, what you hope is that if Ben can work the money out, he says he doesn't really care what the money is. If Ben can work the money out and he comes back in some way, that leads to getting the good stuff out of Dwayne Haskins and having him as your quarterback going forward. So for me, it's about building up the front line offensively, getting a true premier rusher, a guy that really can carry the load as the running back and, finding ways to get into the play action game from there.
Who's winning, Ryan?
The Kansas City Chiefs, 34-30.
Oh, so they're covering. That's what you just said right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl champ, ESPN analyst, Ryan Clark. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate y'all, boys. Y'all boys be good, man.
Hey, you too. You had a great year, Ryan. Great season.
I appreciate it, man. Try to be like you, bro. One day I'm going to get a radio show and, I probably won't get like somebody as famous as AJ Hawk to come on, but I'm sure I got a homeboy that would love to work with me.
Hey, Ryan, you deserve it if it means anything. You deserve a lot more than I ever do, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Clark. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Y'all boys be good.
Okay, so we had 5 people on today, AJ. Ryan Clark, I always enjoy our conversations with him. Mike Allstott, he's Mike Allstott, okay.
Yeah.
Obviously.
True.
Did you listen to the Sean McDermott conversation we had at all?
I did. I knew he was coming on, so I wanted to see it. You had him on forever. I didn't get to see all of it, but I got to see a good chunk.
Everybody on the internet was saying, it's remarkable how he looks exactly like Bill Burr. I mean, and when I was talking to him, he said a couple things where I envisioned actually Bill Burr was potentially on the other side there. He was an incredible conversation. He was a really good conversation. I feel like he talked to us. He didn't lie much, didn't pull any punches. Like, it felt like it was a pretty genuine. I really enjoyed it. I like him. I like the Buffalo Bills a lot more all of a sudden, like after listening to him talk,
Oh, I think you did a good job with it. Like how he obviously felt pretty comfortable. I don't know. He stayed on, 20, 25 minutes?
I think it was like 35.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for a head coach to come on and do anything, anytime during the year for 30, 35 minutes. Yeah, and to be as open and cool as he was. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. Maybe more coaches. Do you think we're going to see more coaches be like that, be more open, be willing to give more info?
I hope. I mean, that was a great conversation. I feel like I learned a lot. I like the team a lot more. I would assume not every coach is going to be like that, but boy, could you imagine us talking to fucking Motor City Dan Campbell?
Oh, man.
Let's talk about these kneecaps, dude.
Can only hope.
Come on.
It's going to happen.
Did you see the Marshall Thundering Herd's new strength coach yesterday? I tweeted him out. He did he ended his press conference with actually doing like the post stretch jumping jack. H-E-R-D. Hey, let's go get it. Let's go. And then like he was going out into practice. This guy was electrifying. It wasn't chewing kneecaps, but it was electrifying down there in Marshall.
Well, how many strength coaches have press conferences?
Well, I think they knew what they had. You know what I mean? I think they potentially knew what they had. I think Duck
registered to vote.
Duck Hodges, he texted me and said that strength coach I think was at Samford, and he said he is awesome. So Duck gave him a he is awesome or whatever. That press conference is awesome. They got rid of Doc Holliday after a good run there. I wonder how that whole thing's going to pan out. They got a whole new strength staff in there, a whole new coaching staff in there, including the strength coordinator. The internet this week has been pretty fantastic. Oh
yeah.
There was the Andrew Luck fake text messages that hit a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a little stir in the pot from Teddy Bruschi saying Matthew Stafford not tough enough.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of drama. There's a trade. Obviously, Matthew Stafford got traded. That came out of nowhere. Carson Wentz going to the Colts now, allegedly, but the Bears have the best offer in. Ooh. I mean, this week has been filled with, like reality TV. Not really anything that involves the Super Bowl at all, aside from a hair cutter, but everything else has just been reality TV at this point.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen next week? Like after the Super Bowl, how long do people string it out where they can talk about the outcome and what happened, the battles that were going on?
Well, Overreaction Monday is all you got. I think Tuesday, what are we doing going forward? I think that is, that is the world we're in right now, mostly because it's the way the internet is. The internet every hour is, and I say this a lot, but it literally is. If something happened yesterday, that might as well be last week. I mean, that's the way the internet is. It just goes so fast. And I think that's for all content, basically. Like, for instance, Queen's Gambit. I mean, that's gone, immediately gone as soon as something else comes. The NFL is obviously bigger than everything on earth, right? It is massive. It is absolutely massive. The ratings are insane. But I think with the world, it's like, all right, on Tuesday, who's getting traded? That's what everybody wants to know. Who's signing? Who's gonna beat the Kansas City Chiefs after winning 2 straight? Like that whole thing. What moves can be made? That's immediately where the sports conversation turns to.
And okay, let's say Tampa Bay, they don't win the game and Tom doesn't play well. Are people going to say, "Oh, do they even want Tom back next year? Are they going to cut him?" Like, don't you think there's going to be some people having that take?
We know he said just a couple days ago that he said he wanted to play well at past 45, but after that performance, is Tom going to retire? Does he not have it anymore? That whole, oh my God, the hot take takers will have a take for days. Whoa, if the Bucs lose. I got a lot of friends down there. Hey, I want them to win. Hey, go bro. Come on, Bucs. But I also thoroughly enjoy, like I think Travis Kelce and us are potentially going to have a friendship. Like I enjoy a lot of the things going on over there in Kansas City. Even though the Shermanator, I mean, he's donating his truck. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I like both these teams. Got a lot of friends down the Bucs organization. But to me, I am very surprised that the people are betting on the Bucs to win this thing straight up without even the points. It's money line. Like, yeah, Bucs are going to win this thing. That's wild to me. I just assumed we all agreed that the Chiefs are they're the new thing. You know, that's an interesting thing to me, AJ.
Yeah, it does seem like it. It reminds me of the Super Bowl when Seattle played Denver and the first snap went over Peyton's head. I remember I was down on Radio Row doing like different interviews and sitting in, and they always ask you your prediction, and every single time, like, I just can't pick against Peyton Manning. I was like, Peyton Manning in the what he's done, like, he is so good. And then that first play happens, and I was like, oh, okay. And they got annihilated. They got blown out by Seattle.
Oh, so he has been playing a long time, and he is very good, but they can make mistakes too all of a sudden. And it is – we talked about that play the other day whenever we were talking about – because the conversation that we have on here has been the same conversation off air. It's like, for me personally, the Chiefs, by all accounts in my brain, should win this game. Like, should win this game. Okay, should. But then all of a sudden you start thinking, okay, but I saw the tackle that's going to have to play against Jason Pierre-Paul. I immediately saw, are they going to be able to stop it? Then you listen to Ryan Clark talk, and he's like, backyard football player Patrick Mahomes, even if you get pressure, that's cool. They're still going to be able to make plays. Like, you'll slow them down, you'll affect them, but they'll still be able to make plays. And then you think on the other side, is there a chance that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense won't go? And I think that may be, I don't know. For me, I just don't see the Chiefs losing at all. But that Tampa offense, a lot of weapons out there. They got some old heads over there that are chasing rings as well. Think about Ndamukong Suh. He's down there. He's not won a Super Bowl. If he has his best game he's ever had, by the way, which he could do. Yeah, I don't know why he couldn't do it. It's a Super Bowl to get a Super Bowl. I mean, him and Vita Vea in there, that's a problem. And you start thinking about, like, the path to success with their offense, with how good it is. I mean, you can see it. And that's why I'm betting tails. That's the entire. That's my Super Bowl is heads or tails. Because just like what you're saying, though, don't want to bet against Tom. Everything says the Chiefs should win, but it doesn't make any sense at all to me to put the actual money down on it.
Well, that's what scares me a little bit, is because everything said, like, everything, at least for myself, like, okay, yeah, I can see the Chiefs, like, they can win multiple different ways. The Bucs, they don't have nearly as many ways to win. So, yeah, the Chiefs can absolutely get beat. The Bucs can beat them, but there's going to have to be some big-time mistakes made that the Chiefs normally don't make.
Pivoting away from the Super Bowl here, Trevor Bauer.
Okay.
He is a free agent in the baseball world. He is going to be announcing where he will be signing, or he has announced?
John Heyman, who I believe is with the MLB Network, has reported that he's going to the Dodgers.
Congrats to the – but I thought he wanted to break his own news, right?
That was what they were told, but I mean,
I'll check a Switch channel.
He's a real reporter.
Old Bob Nightingale dropped the ball again, it looks like.
He sucks, huh?
Yes, he did.
Bob Nightingale has gotten it wrong a couple times now, and it seems like he is only remembered for those. I wonder how many times this guy has hit.
Makes a lot of swings.
Okay. Let's just make sure we keep it fair and balanced here. Bob Nightingale has hit, but the only time we hear about him, he does miss. I think he said he were going to the Mets, right?
Yeah.
Those were the two favorites.
The Mets potentially because AMC, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that why they dropped out? Because of hold. That was like one of the direct opponents, right, of the retail brokers. Is that not?
Yeah, Cohen was against the Reddit.
The people.
Yeah, he was the direct opponent, right? He was one of the actual targets at one point. And he, by the way, he sent out a tweet and said, "Let's fucking go." It was like everybody was like, "Hold." Did he survive or not? And is that why he lost out on Trevor Bauer Power Hour?
He deleted his Twitter. I know that.
He deleted his Twitter?
Yes, he did.
So he said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he was like, that line, they got
a lot of people answered.
deep. They're holding that thing. And he just said, let me get off this.
He got into a Twitter. He got into the mud with Portnoy, and then he
pulled the chute.
Can't go in the mud with Portnoy. He will bury you, especially when he's like saving small businesses.
Yeah.
Hey, he's holding the line out there.
He is holding.
And by the way, Dogecoin, I think, still going. By the way, right?
You better believe it.
Oh, wow.
Elon sent it to the moon the other night. When Elon may have been on the moon, I'm not positive or not.
Is this not the most fucking absurd time to be alive? Listen to what we are talking about right now. What Dogecoin? We're buying in something that literally the majority of people that have spent money on it, the only thing they know about it is that goddamn dog, the little twisted head dog that has been put on memes. And everybody's like, yeah, making hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars right now off of this thing. Look, Elon Musk, our resident alien's promoting it over there. It's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Why not? What a time, dude. Will that be a part of the asterisk next to whoever wins the Super Bowl? You know, will they explain that? Like
Dogecoin?
One Super Bowl during year that Wall Street went to war with people and the world shut down, and Dogecoin was really birthed. Is that will that be in the asterisk, I wonder? How will this pan out for all the brokers? Excited to see.
Yeah. This will be the start of the documentary of Dogecoin, don't you think? Like this, the early beginnings, and they show the chaos, Wall Street. Oh, the NFL found a way to put on a season. We have a Super Bowl. COVID's around. It'll just be like, that's when they broke in the market during this time of adversity. Now look at them now, 10 years later.
And then it's like the Lion King Simba meme.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the documentary. We're writing it right now. Good for Dogecoin, man.
Yeah.
Shout out. AJ, I got to place that bet.
Oh, here we
only
go.
got a couple minutes. Are you thinking tails? Maybe you.
No, I'm thinking heads, 100%.
You stink.
Were you good whenever you went out there?
Nope, I don't think I ever called it.
Okay. How'd you guys feel whenever you guys were going out for captains and there was malarkey happening behind you, photoshopping?
That's
photobombing.
Every single captain's picture, that's the way. Brett Favre started it, Aaron continued.
All right.
Not drawing love.
All right, so as soon as this finger hits this button, by the way, a $30,000 bet on tails at minus 103 odds to win $29,126 will go through.
Yeah!
Hey, whoever's tossing that goddamn coin out there, if you have that thing land tails up, I want to let you know not only are you starting a Super Bowl and reffing a Super Bowl, you're also helping a community of people win thousands and thousands of dollars, because as soon as this money goes into the account, it is being withdrawn and thrown out to the people that watch and rock with us every single day. If tails is the coin toss outcome, we all win. AJ is against it. He wants heads. He says 100% heads, but that's not what it's about. What it's about is if tails hits, we all win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. $30,000 bet, place bet. Didn't let me place bid.
We got geolocation issue?
Yeah.
No.
Of course.
App's been open too long.
No, I just had to reopen it. I had to do the whole face thing.
Son of a bitch.
Well, that was kind of a little bit of a
Are you
dead
rethinking
there.
it? Are you rethinking tails?
No. No, as soon as that thing can go through, which will be immediately following this show, I mean, that thing's going through.
Yeah.
We are betting $30,000 on tails. I'm not rethinking it at all, even though the man sitting next to me on this particular camera shot, says heads is coming because he wants nobody to win any of the money. Ain't that right, AJ?
It worked out very well for me, but I had no idea you were putting 30K on tails.
Well, big thanks to all of our guests today and this week. Big thanks to everybody that has listened on SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio. We'll be back for a special countdown to kickoff celebration super show, 4:30 p.m. on this here radio dial. 4 p.m. live on YouTube. We can't wait to celebrate down to the moments of the coin toss for the biggest game of the year. We made it. Let's enjoy the hell out of it. We'll see you for Overreaction Monday. Chris Mad Dog Russo's next. Got it. I think I got it.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Yeah.
I don't think I got it in on the radio, though. Like, we can all say, yeah, we got it because we hear it, but I think the radio cut off whenever I probably right in the middle of Russo there, if I had to say.
Yeah, for sure, but you got it. You definitely got it.
I gave an effort, which is the show.
It's when the clock turns, like the delay of game, right?
Oh, yeah. The ref has to look.
Yeah.
Huh. AJ?
Yes.
Have you reconsidered heads, maybe, so that we can all be happy whenever it hits?
I mean, I really do wish I was on the side, your side, and everyone else's, but I have to go with my instincts and what I think is going to happen.
Well, you could just put 30K on the heads then so the people win either way, right?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, wow.
That's a good point.
Nick's clapping.
Yeah, you should just do that.
What a hero.
It's a great idea. I could do that. FanDuel is not in Ohio, fellas, so I can't.
It's all right. I got a bookie in Ohio. We can get something done.
I can't take part in any illegal activity, Connor.
By the way, you shouldn't unless you don't have FanDuel in your state.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't do that either, okay?
Short drive, though.
It is only a couple hours over here to Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
True.
Plus, isn't he in studio?
And Pennsylvania. And
Michigan.
A lot of places.
every state basically that's connected. Why is Ohio not doing it yet? What are we doing here?
Hey, we need to get
Classic
to our rep, Anthony Gonzalez. Couldn't we get him to
Yes.
try to push it through?
Oh.
Seriously.
Hey, what are we doing here, huh? You did a little thing with that name, image, likeness thing, huh? Now we do a little something, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Now we write a little, huh? Woo-hoo. Is that how politics work, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
I think you walk up to people and go, huh? How about a little, huh? Huh? With the thing, huh? For the,
Hand him McDonald's back.
Right?
Huh? Do that, huh? Right? I think that's how it works.
When Clyde sneaks in, Clyde's going to sneak into a lot of conversations, I think.
It's a great one. It is a great one. Right. I think right. Like when you get in there, he's awesome. He is great on the golf course, by the way. Always a quick coaching tip and maybe a smart ass comment. Oh, really, didn't even want to hit the fairway.
A few bets.
Didn't even want to. I mean, just line up right. Just give it a good. Just didn't even want to put it where you're supposed to. Right. So funny. He is great. I assume Tom doesn't let him golf as much. You know, he used to have to literally like hide his phone whenever he would have to go do something and somebody was trying to reach him. You know, Peyton was trying to get a hold of him or whatever. I mean, what a time for that guy. That's been his life, by the way, just football forever. Tom Moore said he'll coach until he either physically or emotionally dies or something like that. Nothing in life besides football turns him on, is what he said.
I read that. I love the fact that he says nothing turns him on outside of football. It's like, man, that dude. Yeah, he is where he should be. He went into the right profession.
He was a backup to Johnny Unitas at one point. That guy, Tom Moore. So whenever you're betting on the Chiefs, you're betting against that guy.
Oh,
all right?
Wow.
I just want to let you know that.
Shit.
Not only Tom Brady, you're betting against Tom Moore, one of the game's greatest legends of all time. Wow. You shouldn't feel good about it. He said tails, by the way.
He did.
Here we
Don't
go.
they say tails always fails?
All right, that's the show, dude.
Come on.
That's the show. We have big guests coming on Sunday. AJ will be there as well. I think so. We'll have to figure that all out. Obviously, I think he's coming into studio, which is when he can place his bet on heads, which is awesome.
Perfect.
The boys will be here. We'll be giving things away. We'll be reacting, obviously, to the massive bet and the celebration of the year that was as a whole. The guests are big. We can't thank you enough for rocking with us this season. Obviously, we'll continue the show after the football season. We will have to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge our way through an off season with a lot of drama, controversy happening in our particular field. We'll talk about other sports as we deem fit that our voices should be heard about things. Speaking of, I might have to take a break from the arena for a little bit.
What? Oh, no way.
You know, I've just hit like a little bit of a.
We got tennis elbow.
No, it's just been. I've been boxing so much. It's been affecting everything else. I go into that ping pong arena, I'm losing to people.
Well, maybe just give up
boxing
for a little bit.
First love, though.
Yeah, but that's like my workout. You know, like that's like a workout for me. So I don't know.
Damn.
I might have to put the headset down for a little bit.
Well, maybe you just get like a fishing game and just relax that way. So, you know, you're still in the headset, but you're also kind of recharging the batteries.
So I go box, fish, ping pong.
Boom.
That's a Big Ten angler.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. That's a good call. What was that, Gumpy?
Is AJ going to quit ducking me, or is he going to get back in the arena?
Yeah, AJ, what's going on? Carl 1112. It seems like you've been hiding out a little bit. Gumpy finally gets a chance to step into the arena, and you've been nowhere to find, he said.
Well, has Gumpy sent me a friend request on there?
It appears everybody is ducking me, actually.
Really? I was in early yesterday.
No one will accept a challenge around here.
Wow. Whoa. Gumpy, we'll play tonight, pal.
What's your name, Gump?
Bubba Gumpino.
Hey, Bubba Gumpino, I ain't boxing a soul tonight.
Oh, you're going down.
Now we go.
You're going to get skunked.
Man, I haven't been able. I mean, I went in for another fight last night, another 4-5 rounder. Like, I went into the first 10 seconds of the 5th round, basically.
Damn.
Knocked the guy out. I'm throwing like 1,500 punches, 1,600 punches over 3-4 nights at this point. I can't shoot a basketball anymore. I can't wipe my ass. Ping pong game is being affected by it, but I feel like it is potentially a good workout. I'm not 100% sure.
Can't you get your workout with the trainer? That's
Playing ping pong?
Yeah.
That is much different than much different.
Obviously, 600 punches, but if you're doing 700 backhands.
But with that backhand, although I am trying to put good spin on that thing,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not trying to put my hand through somebody's like face.
Maybe
Boxing's a real
6,000
workout.
backhands.
What's that?
The boxing is a real workout.
Yeah, it kills
You
me.
are fully sweaty after.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoy it, actually.
AJ says he hasn't done it yet.
No, I have. I absolutely. I've boxed people, and I'm out of breath. I'm sweating because I've hit a dude 500 times, like body, head, and the dude doesn't go down.
Yeah.
Like I have to hit him with so many shots. I feel like to knock people down.
Have you lost?
I don't think I've lost. I've been knocked down. Yeah.
Oh, then the first knockdown is a real whoa. And then because you start shaking your hands, like, am I supposed to move my hands? Like, how do I show them I'm alive or whatever? And then you come back and it's like, well, now you got to pay, motherfucker. Now you're coming full swings. You know what I mean? Because you got to catch up with that knockdown. I don't know much about boxing scoring, but I've lost a few rounds now as I continue to go here. Knockdowns are vital. You got to steal a knockdown in there whenever you're really getting laid into that thing.
Hey, are you going to play ping pong tonight? If you do, I might jump on.
I think I should be able to get in there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I'll challenge you.
You still got it. It looks good.
It's tough, you know.
Serve is what kills me. I can't. The stupid 6-inch drop situation. My serve has been rough. Yeah, we'll see.
It tried to offer me last night to just start using my goddamn hands. They're like,
Really?
dude, they have cameras, I guess. At the beginning, I turned it off. I normally don't turn it off. I just take it off. It kind of falls asleep. I plug it in, then I put it back in. But I actually turned the whole thing off. I think it reset. I go in there, and they're like, do you want to just use your hands as a thing instead of the thing or whatever? And I was wondering if that could. My thing might have been glitching, but I mean, if I'm playing ping pong
that'd be awesome.
with my fucking hand, everybody might be in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're using a goddamn hand for this whole thing, that could be awesome.
That could be weird.
I mean, it's like
The
air
spin on
tennis.
that, yeah.
It's like an air guitar.
You're screwed. Oh, the spin.
It's probably just another way that they can use the cameras on there to map your whole house, so they know every square inch of your place.
Yeah. I mean, and they're also I played one game where it had my arms, and as I was literally moving like this, it was moving like that. I was like, how the fuck? What is this? And you look down at the legs, it's like, oh my God, okay, this is wild. And you just need to get that the treadmill, so you can gallivant around.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we got to get out of here. Hammer Don is in 25 minutes. All the prop bets we will be talking about on there. Hey, who are you betting on?
Kansas City. They're going to win. They're going to cover.
There's the first official pick of the weekend. Some AJ Hawk, Kansas City, Indy cover. We'll give all our picks out here in about 25 minutes on Hammer Don with Diggs, Gumpy, myself, Michael Lombardi, and the boys will come through. We'll see you on Sunday. Big show. Be a friend, tell a friend. Listen, this is going to be a show that you're going to want to sit around and, I think have a good time with. I think you're going to enjoy. The guests are going to be cool. It is going to be a cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
The guests are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready.
Very cool.
Bigger than you think. Whatever you're thinking, bigger.
I don't know what people are thinking, though, so I don't think you can say that.
The Pope?
But it is big.
Yeah, well, I mean.
Huge.
Way to ruin it, see?
Sorry. The Pope would not be on the show.
What?
Yeah, so maybe.
So below the Pope. Everyone below the Pope is on the show.
All right, that's a show. All right, we'll see you Hammer Down. Thank you all so much. Great week. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you.
Hey, tonight.
Let's play. Are you saying? I think the fans probably, when you're talking these guests up, they think Jack Easterby may be coming, and I'm not sure you got him
Run the
confirmed.
clip, please. Can we run the?
Yes.
Have you seen this? Did you see this from earlier in the show?
What?
Have you ever seen this guy in action? I think we all misjudged his power.
Yeah.
I don't think we have his ability. I don't think none of us gave his ability enough respect whenever we were talking about Jack Easterby.
No. The style, nonetheless.
Have you seen this?
No. What is it?
So, we got to find it back there, but we're not going to be able to.
No, we will. Give me 90 seconds.
90 seconds. Okay. So the internet last night, 90 seconds with the piss I got to take. I mean, this is a real decision to be made.
Almost there.
But Jack Easterby, a video of him doing his thing hit the internet yesterday, him giving a sermon or whatever. And I was like, okay, did not expect that. And then another one hit that's a little bit shorter. And I'll tell you what, hey, this chaplain is, Sam, my wife, thought he was a comedian. A comedian, she said. Is that a comedian that you're trying to listen to right now? This is how Jack Easterby goes from chaplain at the Patriots to guy in charge of Houston Texans.
Understand this, and you seem to be from God because you're doing some miracles and you're walking on water and all that stuff. That's a pretty good deal. By the way, y'all think Jesus paused on water and shot out to the fish? That's funny right there. I laugh at that all the time. I'm like, man, Jesus walking on water hey, what's up, fish? Right, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's funny. Understand this, and you seem to be from God because you're doing...
Huh?
I'm trying to process it.
Just initial reaction after seeing that,
I'm just trying to think if I was sitting in the crowd live and I saw that, how I would feel about the people around me laughing. I'm not sure how I would do it.
Didn't sound like anyone was laughing.
I would like to let you know, he had to reiterate that, hey, we might be talking about God, but we can have fun too. Please laugh. Please clap. Who was that? Jeb Bush. Yeah. Please clap. But you could see how Cal McNair could potentially see a show and go, all right, let's go. We got a guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
We got a guy. You know what I mean?
Really? Can you?
Huh?
Is that what sold him? Little clips like that?
Well, I think Cal McNair was scrolling his phone, and after watching Social Dilemma, I think there was a chance he just got stuck into a rabbit hole.
Yep.
And I think it was just play the hits, Jack Easterby, Mitch Hedberg jokes just fucking coming out bing, bang, boom, look at these God jokes. And Cal McNair was like, need that. Get it in
Bring
here.
him in.
And then Jackie, you can see how, Jack Easterby's a cool chaplain. Man.
Yeah.
He's a cool chaplain.
Super cool.
Cool chaplain. Super cool.
You think that was off the cuff, or was that planned? Does he do that in every sermon? One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Well, he thinks about it all the time, he said.
Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, but tying it together to Jesus Christ, are you fucking kidding
Wow,
me?
he's on
right.
water.
You're right.
Please.
Pretty good.
That's a good point.
That's like DJ Khaled, dude, bringing all these musicians and beat makers together to make bangers. That's what he just did with Dr. Seuss and fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Another one.
And they are big fish people, right? The symbol?
Yeah, that's forever, eternity, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. The infinity side?
It is.
Or is it fish?
It's a fish.
Both. It's a fish for sure, but I think it is
The meaning of infinity
to signify infinity.
and beyond.
Oh, nice.
Because it's the afterlife, you see. And sometimes I think about you and whether or not you should start thinking about that potentially sometimes.
I will sometime.
Okay. Because you're a cowboy.
I pray at night.
Huh?
I pray at night.
What do you say to who?
After I come out of the barn and have brushed down all the horses and stuff like that, I go and kneel next to my bed. I thank my good Lord every day for the blessings he has bestowed upon me.
That's right.
Thank you for my horse.
I don't pray for victory.
God willing, we shall.
Before every game in high
Pray
school.
not for winning, because God willing, we shall.
Before every game in high school, okay? And I didn't practice much. I didn't practice much with the team. I would literally just show up on game days. And this is my first time ever in an NFL, like a football locker room, right? So I'm trying to figure out the pads first of all, but then there's an entire routine that takes place here. You know, like okay, now bow your heads, everybody. All right, here we go. In this prayer, whenever I heard it the first time, it was tough not to pop in the back of what was going on. Pray not for victory, because God willing, we shall. And everybody was like yelling, and I'm like, can we pray for a fucking victory too? Like maybe we're asking for a lot of other stuff here, health and safety. Maybe not get a goddamn W too. I mean, if we're going to start asking for some things.
The best.
It was awesome.
Was Tone, was your dad leading the prayer? Was he your coach?
No, he was not. Not for me, no.
Coach Diggs was in the room, though.
Oh, he was?
Coach Diggs, yeah. Coach Diggs is always in the room, by the way. If you're doing anything in Plumboro, Coach Diggs is in the room, pal. He's the head of the goddamn Italian club in Plumboro. Of course, he's in the room.
But was Coach Diggs on the coaching staff?
He was like he was the Mike Lombardi. He was a special assistant to the coaching staff when I was there. And then he became a coach after I left.
That is true. He just had duties, jobs. He got them
You need those
accomplished.
guys.
Even when Coach isn't on the coaching staff, he's on the coaching staff.
Yeah. He didn't write the prayer, though, I don't think.
No, he did not.
I do not believe that is a song written by Coach Diggs.
No, he was not.
I would assume he would make a couple adjustments, and I do believe he would pray for victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coach Diggs would pray for victory.
As did I.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hey, whichever one's out there, you did a great job with this whole thing, you know. Who would have thought you could have created humans and this whole thing? I mean, good job for you. I mean, look at the things that you figured. I don't know which one you are, but you've done a lot of great things. If you could somehow let us win this fucking game tonight, we should not win. But if you did, that would be great. All right, amen. Have a good one. Have a good one. Cheers. Every single game has a prayer before it. Every
They
single
do,
game.
don't they? Hey, does every NFL locker room do, Our Father before they go out?
I think so. I think it's every single. Isn't that interesting? I mean, that is me talking way out of line. I have no idea, but I would have, because I've only played for one team. But I do believe it is something that happens for every game.
Did it not happen in college? Every single locker room I've ever been in my entire life did it. For every sport.
We did pray, yeah. Mike Barwis would come in. He would say that, he wanted and hoped that we would go out and, assassinate the other team.
Oh, yeah.
But in a much more fiery way. With his deep voice, like he went, like it was a full-on, rally the troops. It was awesome. Okay, that was one, there's hype-up speech, 1 for me, 2 for you, 3 for them, 4 for us, 6 or 7. There's hype-up speeches. That was one of the, what was that, AJ?
I don't know that.
Oh, yeah, you do. Watch NFL films one time for me. Jesus Christ. That's Drew Brees.
Yeah, come on.
But that was one of the ones that, really, I've seen a room actually light up because of. And he would obviously swear, maybe 15, 20 times per sentence there to really get his message home. And then as soon as he would walk out, everybody's pumped up. Let's pray. Everybody takes a knee. Yeah, it's like, for whatever just happened there, we are going to have to pray to the Lord. But also, everybody's jacked up. Everybody take a knee. We need to talk to the Lord about what just happened there. Every single thing. I assume Ohio State prayed as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Who's going to pray better on Sunday?
Ooh.
Who's God going to listen to more?
Who's got the number 1 chaplain?
Well, Jack Easterby's off the board. He was up there with New England for a long time. Which chaplain is going to bring the Lord down more in their favor than the other chaplain? If everybody's praying to one particular thing, who does that one particular thing like more? We will find out on Sunday.
Tom might bring in Easterby. Who knows? I mean, he's got a past with him.
You think he's potentially doing a selfie one? I was thinking.
Customized. Cameo style.
Quarantine. Can you get a Jack Easterby cameo?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, we need one.
Look it up.
Anyways, all right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, you're gonna break, but quickly, Jack Easterby, Houston Texans, Joel Osteen, his big mega church is in Houston. Couldn't they bring them both in, or do you think those guys butt heads?
I would assume that those are two pretty powerful forces from the Lord that could potentially be like a magnet
Yeah.
Crossing streams.
You know, because there's only one way to really message from the Lord if you have the direct ear of a billionaire, I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume the Lord's message is not going to be coming from numerous places if you are the person that's particularly the message from God for a billionaire.
I don't think Easterby wants to encroach on Osteen's turf. He'll fucking remove him from the face of the earth if he feels threatened. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Joel Osteen ain't fucking around.
Not on there.
All right. That's a show, dude. Remember
See you
that.
Sunday, man. Can't wait to see you Sunday. And Joel Osteen does kind of give that vibe off that he will have you killed, I guess, or he will kill you with his bare hands.
Yeah. Underwater. He'll hold you underwater.
I don't, right? Doesn't he? Oh, yeah, because that's kind of like the baptism thing.
No.
What?
I don't. Hopefully, he hasn't lost anybody in baptisms by holding him under too long.
Could happen.
It's possible.
He's thought about it.
That's why I'm not letting my kid do it until, if he wants to, until like at least 18, 19, so he can swim, because some of those babies just get, you know what I mean? They're just
Drop 'em.
fucking, here you go, the Lord's with you now, and then boom, and then-
Concrete bird baths.
Amen.
Amen.
Concrete bird baths with holy water from the Lord through me. Take a dip.
Amen.
Amen. That's the show. See you guys Sunday. All right, cheers. Good show. Good week. Hey, thank you, AJ.